time when you start looking to the future. Now, the future is next week and the following week to end the season, but the real future, where is it? Next spring and next fall. And I think it's important that with this quarterback change and some other things, that whole mentality has to set in now for OBU the rest of the way.
Let me talk about that quarterback change before we go down to Scott. It has nothing to do with the performance on the part of Dayton Wolf. It has everything to do with the fact Dayton Wolf has been playing basically this entire year hurt.
Exactly.
And you know what? You would rather have a kid that's out there 100% than a kid that's out there 70 at best and risking a chance of further injury.
Yeah.
Thus far, Seth Streeter will come in today. He'll make his first start. He'll become the first left-handed quarterback in Oklahoma Baptist football history to make a start. He replaces Dayton Wolf. We were told earlier this week Wolf would be the backup, but in pregame drills I saw Wolf down on the field in street clothes, so that doesn't appear to be the case. Streeter is an 8-man quarterback from Regent Prep Academy in Tulsa. He made his Bison debut in Game 2 at Arkansas Monticello. He was 2 for 4 for 16 yards. Last week, albeit against the reserves, keep in mind he was a third-team quarterback starting the year. He was good, 12 of 16, 139, a touchdown, and gained 17 yards on the ground and directed both of the Bison scoring drives in the fourth quarter.
Well, I did not want what I said to be a misinterpretation against Wolf, because there is no question he has not been the same player since he got hurt. No, without question. He's not been the same player. But for the moment at least, you need to do something. And why not save a guy? Why go to the envelope and open it again if there's nothing in the envelope and it's not his fault? He's trying to come back from something.
Let's go downstairs to Scott Wanish. Scott, we've had a lot of rain this week here in central Oklahoma, well over an inch here in Shawnee over the last 48 to 72 hours. This natural turf surface, though, always holds up well, and the wind is going to be a factor for anybody traveling south to north here this afternoon.
Yeah, wind coming out of the north in this field. Once again, it just soaks it up. It doesn't even seem like it rained. I can't find a wet spot on it. You can cut on it very well. Southern Arkansas is coming in from a 63-31 loss to Ouachita. OBU losing 62-14 to Southeastern. Hey, game's up for grabs. Going to be a lot of offense. Got to run the ball. Remember the last time the Bison won against Northwestern, they rushed for 235 yards. Well, they got to get some good yardage out of the running back, because Jarek Scales has 697 yards and 9 touchdowns coming into this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a matchup against Southern Arkansas's run offense against the conference worst run defense at Oklahoma Baptist. We talked about the quarterback change last week. We were not aware of until he made the catch, and I still didn't think it was Matthew Norman at the time. Matthew Norman, who's been in the defensive backfield for his entire stay here on Bison Hill, Scott, was moved to the offensive side a couple of weeks ago and had a big 41-yard reception in Durant last week. And the offensive coaches really felt like he could help them better on that side of the football.
Yeah, I talked to Taggart Brown down here on the field during pregame warm-ups. I said, what is the deal with Matt Norman going to the offense? He goes, he is so fast. He says, Key is fast. There's something about Matthew Norman. We've got to have that speed on offense. He wants to have some routes where he can take the safeties out of the plays, open up some areas there. And then, of course, they've got some design plays for him, and they did last week. That first play of the game was a nice play-action pass out of the shotgun to Matthew Norman on the post pattern. And, of course, OBU failed to score on that drive.
Scott Wanish from the sidelines here this afternoon. He'll be joining Brooksy and I in the booth here momentarily. Coming up next, it's our final weekly visit this week with Chris Jensen. Also in the player spotlight, it is fifth-year senior Jackson Landsteiner. All that straight ahead on the McIntyre Law pregame show from Shawnee. This is Bison Football, presented by Sportscast Productions. I'm adding that.
Was that a gift?
No, I'm adding it. Okay, pregame show 3, 2, 1. Back on this Saturday afternoon from Crane Family Stadium, the Hurt Athletic Complex. It's time now for our weekly visit with Chris Jensen. Okay, pregame show 3, 2, 1. Back on this Saturday afternoon from Crane Family Stadium, the Hurt Athletic Complex. It's time now for our weekly visit with Chris Jensen. Coach, you had higher expectations than what transfolded last week down in Southeastern. It was a game that got off to a really good start. You 3-and-out their offense. You have a nice successful drive and unfortunately bogged down. But from that point on, it just kind of steamrolled on you.
Yeah, it was, we came out pretty strong, felt good about our game plan. I think, the difference was when they got the wind at their back. The wind was a significant factor the other day. When they got the wind at their back going in the second quarter, their quarterback let loose. And, they've got some serious threats in their wide receiver core and their quarterback. I felt like last year, and I told him this after the game last year, that, I'm taking Preston of everybody else in our conference, but if I had to pick somebody else, I would have picked him. Last year, just because of the way he played, felt like he handled the ball really well, handled the game really well, and so he picked us apart. And their receivers had some really phenomenal plays. We had a couple occasions where schematically they were able to get guys wide open, but for the most part, they made some really good plays, and then we found ourselves in a pretty big hole, and it just kept snowballing on us.
From an offensive standpoint, it has to be frustrating for you to continue to get off to slow starts. I mean, here again, late second quarter, you have less than 100 yards of total offense. What is it about getting from the bus out to the game field and being ready to play from kickoff?
We're still trying to find the answer to that. We've got to find a way to get sparked early. And, I know Coach Eaton and the whole staff on that side of the ball is really working hard trying to get the players ready to go. And come out strong. If we can go out there and get scores early and get up in the game, maybe we can play a different type of game. But it's just not worked out for us up to this point this year, and that's something we've really got to try to do.
It has been a mash unit all across the two deep chart the entire season on both sides of the football, but is arguably the most hardest hit part of this team has been on the offensive line. They finally got a little continuity last week, and I thought they played really, really well regardless of what the final score might indicate.
Yeah, they've been getting better. I mean, they've really been focused on trying to improve, and I feel like they've been getting better. There are a lot of new faces up there since the start of the season. But, we're all the way around. Injuries are part of the game. You just have to keep finding that next man up and motivate him, get him ready to go.
Seth Streeter came in and had some success. I know it was against the second team unit, but Seth is just a kid that has an infectious personality, doesn't he? I mean, everybody likes to be around him. He's always up regardless of the situation, and the kids really like playing for him.
He is. He's got a great attitude. He's got leadership qualities. I know that, Coach Brown's identified those things and really praises those things when we have our staff meetings. And he's somebody that brought a spark the other day, and we hope he can do the same thing this week.
Streeter is going to get the start. Dayton Wolf will actually back him up, and it's not really an indictment on Dayton. He just still has not been able to perform like he's capable of performing because of the injuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all the way around. It's been hard this season, and we've like I said, just trying to find energy, trying to find a spark. And, Seth was able to do that the other day, and so we're going to see if he can do it from the beginning this week.
Let's talk about Southern Arkansas. Last year you had a complete game over there, went and won in Magnolia for the first time. This is a Mule Rider team that is still very, very talented. Maybe not quite as talented as they've been in the past with a new coach. What has changed from last year to this year with the Mule Riders?
They are very similar as far as the team is concerned. Very dynamic on offense, have the ability to be, and so you've got to be able to contain the quarterback. He's a significant threat in the running game, and then defensively, they still put good people out there, and it's always a challenge playing them. They always have great athletes, and so it's a challenge again this week.
I ask you, and you certainly can't speak for the staff in Magnolia, but here we are in week 9 of the season, and they have not named a full-time starter or quarterback. Is that twofold? Because the guy that was the incumbent coming into the spring obviously wants some playing time and is getting that, but you also have to prepare for 2 different styles behind center.
Yeah, it's I think, they've got 2 quarterbacks that they feel comfortable in, and, not naming one, I think, at this point is because they really feel comfortable in both of them, and they feel like, you know, whoever has the hot hand is going to stay in there. But you know, it's a good problem to have.
All right, let's talk about keys to a victory today.
You know, we got to come out. We've got to come out fast. We've got to, you know, be at game speed when the ball kicks off. You know, it would help for us to get a couple scores early. Defensively, we've got to keep everything in front of us. We've got to make them earn everything that they get. And, you know, we got to avoid big plays. But, you know, ball security will always be critical. You know, and this is a game that's important for us because, you know, we get back to fundamentals, blocking, tackling, and ball security. If we can be good in those things, we'll be successful.
Chris Jensen, the architect of the reboot of Oklahoma Baptist football, started with the program back in 2012. Their first year of competition, 20-13. His record is 39-58. He is 1-5 against Southern Arkansas. Not only did the Bison notch a rare victory within the borders of the Natural State last year, they beat SAU for the first time ever, 44-40 in the road in Magnolia. During that conversation, you heard us discuss the offensive line play. Zach Frazier and Caleb Butler out again for this week's game. Zach tells me he's going to play next week. Butler likely finished for the season. There has been some continuity, though, over the last 3 games up front, with Chad Anderson and Andrew Sawyer really settling in nicely on the left side. Jackson Landsteiner, we'll hear from him in just a moment of the Bison Player segment, has started in 6 of 8 games this year. Jordan Allen at right guard, Jake Sitzler at right tackle have started the same positions all season long. The stability up front and the leadership of Greg Gothard has led to a better offensive output the last 3 weeks. Now, it's not numbers we've grown accustomed to here on Bison Hill, but improvement has been made. 276 yards against Arkansas Tech, 315 against East Central. Last week, 322 yards of total offense at Southeastern. Jackson Landsteiner, one of the captains up front, 295-pound graduate student from Schertz, Texas, joins us next. This is Bison Football, presented by Sportscast Productions on the Bison Radio Network. Back in Shawnee before Player Spotlight 3, 2, 1. Arkansas do battle in the next to last home game of the season. I'm Todd Miller. Time now for our player spotlight with center Jackson Landsteiner. And right off the bat, I've asked you, so you know this question is coming. On social media, your dad refers to you as Cole. We've all been calling you Jackson. What is the deal? Have we all been wrong in what we've been calling you now for 4 years?
No, it's just the way I've grown up. My family all goes by J names, and it just was easier on them to call me by my middle name, which is Cole. And so it just helped them get less confused because they used to always mix up me and my brother.
All right, you had a chance to play alongside your brother here on Bison Hill. How special was that for you?
Oh, it was just an amazing feeling, just getting to be out there and battle with, an actual blood brother rather than just a brother you grew with here on the team. It's a different feeling that not many people get to experience.
Not many people get to experience being part of a team at this level. How special has that been for you and the lasting long-term friendships and bonds that you've made?
Oh, it's very, very hard to describe. You come in here and you don't really expect to, make lifetime friendships like you do, and you just come out and all of a sudden they're your brother, and it's like you've known them forever, and then you'll end up knowing them forever, and it's just an amazing feeling to have those friends for life.
I want to discuss your decision to come back because you went through senior day exercises last year. I go to spring practice, you're out there. Hey, what are you doing? Well, I'm going to play next year. What went into the thinking and the mindset of you coming back for another year?
Yeah, there's just a lot of different things that went into it. But one thing that made it set in stone was when people say, like, they heard a voice of God talk to them, tell them, like, hey, you need to go do this. That's really just, like, the main thing that I felt when I was asked to come back for the season is just I felt like God was like, hey, you need to go play again. You need to go play again. And just I had a whole new motivation I've never felt to play football before. And I had to come back.
Some of your biggest blessings, though, Jackson, you told me during this extra year of eligibility, have not even been on the football field. It's with your teammates away and then the continued growth of you spiritually.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things about coming back that I did not expect to happen. Like those friends for life you were talking about earlier, and I was able to find one of my groomsmen that I met this semester, really. We just became friends immediately. And then I was able to get saved back in October 4th, which is really an amazing feeling, and I was able to help come closer to God and realize my true faith.
How about your relationship? You're engaged now. Went
Yes.
from a girlfriend to an engagement with actually a classmate here on Bison Hill.
Yeah, my amazing fiance Alyssa, she supports me through everything, and I was so happy I got to share that moment with her in the middle of Crane Stadium, just asking her to be with me forever, and she's just the best, and I couldn't ask for anyone better.
All right, this year hasn't gone the way you would have hoped for when you signed up for one more year, but from bad things come good things, and I think you guys have learned a lot about yourselves other than being football players. But how frustrating has this year been at your position, because you've been beat up, you've been in and out of the lineup, and about everybody seemingly has taken their turns missing time up front?
It's just another one of those things you got to get over, and you just learn from all your mistakes so you can be better for your teammates, and it's not really just trying to be better as a player. It's really trying to be better for everyone else on the team and just getting your job done and making sure everyone else can succeed next time.
I thought last week you had a really good game. In fact, talking to Greg Gothard earlier this week, he said that was the highest the offensive line has graded this year. I know that constant improvement has been something you guys really have taken as a badge of honor.
Yeah, since we were able to get a solid O-line set due to all these injuries, it's just been really nice to get to play with them and really connect and be able to learn what the other ones can do, so we can help be a better unit, so we can protect passers and protect runners so they can get the yards for us.
Physically, is it hard and getting harder to get out of bed every morning?
Absolutely. I'm so beat up, but that just comes with the game and being in the trenches, but, you got to love it sometimes.
All right, I love it. Dr. Landsteiner. That sounds like a physician from a TV show, but that's your end goal. You want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, I just felt like it was my calling at a real young age. I was just always interested in medicine, and then being in sports, I just always been interested in bones and joints, so orthopedic surgeon just felt like the way to go. And, it's a grind to get there, but I'm sure it'll pay off in the end.
It is a grind. You ready for 8 more years?
Probably not, but, you got to take it as it comes.
The very likable graduate center, Jackson Landsteiner. Call him Jackson, call him Cole. You can call him whatever you want, but he's a heck of a player for the Oklahoma Baptist offensive line. Today will be his 23rd career game, and Jackson, during his time here on Bison Hill, has been very, very durable, very reliable. He also has been very versatile. He's played all 5 offensive line positions during his stay here at Oklahoma Baptist. Landsteiner out of Schertz, Texas, had a transfer from Cisco Junior College. More on our pregame show brought to you by McIntyre Laws. Kickoff looms. It's the Bison and the Mule Riders this afternoon on the Bison Radio Network. Yeah.
I've never heard anything more appropriate. And the kickoff.
Their way towards midfield. It is Zach Frazier, Keelan Harris, Nick Boone, and the fourth captain is Trajan Lance. Southern Arkansas will wear the all-white with blue numerals and gold trim, the blue helmets. Oklahoma Baptist to the green and white tops with the green and white helmets and the white bottoms. Before we take a look at today's Great American Conference schedule, let's step aside for stations on the network to identify themselves. This is OBU Football, presented by Sportscast Productions on the Bison Radio Network. Elsewhere around the Great American Conference this afternoon, Southeastern is at Arkansas Monticello, Henderson State at Southern Nazarene, Southwestern at Arkansas Tech. Those are all 2 o'clock games along with this one here in Shawnee. At 3 o'clock, it's homecoming in Searcy as Harding will take on Northwestern. The Rangers and the Bison currently tied for dead last in the conference standings at 1-7. On Thursday night, it was a thriller at Cliff Harris Stadium in Arkadelphia. Washita got 2 interceptions in the closing minutes to erase an 18-14 deficit, and they went on to win 28-18 over East Central. That drops the Tigers to 6-3. Washita has clinched to share the conference title with a record of 9-0. Washita ranked 4th or 5th nationally, depending on which poll you choose to look at. Mule Riders headed out. Oklahoma Baptist is out of the field. The kickoff is coming up next. You've been listening to the McIntyre Law pregame show on the Bison Radio Network.
Bison won the toss, they deferred.
Okay.
They're kicking to the south end zone to Tech.
So we'll have the win.
Yes. And it's picked up, too. Since you talked to me, it picked up 8, 9 miles per hour. Just call me baller. Nothing but net. Let's see if it comes in. Bison won the third, kicking to the south end zone.
Hey, Scott, thank you. I'm right at 2 minutes, so we should be good unless they cut it. I go off that game clock. Huh? The Bison have won, defer. They will get the win to their back here in the first quarter. They'll kick from north to south, left to right on your radio dial. Guillermo Garcia, the place kicker, a sophomore from Dickinson, Texas, who is coming off his best career day in terms of kickoffs, averaged over 65 on 3 kicks last week at Durant, has placed the ball on the tee, and we are off and running here from Oklahoma Baptist. Garcia's kick with a wind to his back is going to sail into the end zone and through the back line, and Southern Arkansas will start first down at 10 of the 25. Scott, an update since you have come back to the booth from the field. The wind is even a little bit stronger than it was when we first came to you.
Significantly stronger. I'd say 8 miles per hour because I measured it, John. So it's coming out of the north hard with that cloud front that came.
That's why we hired him 7 years ago, or 6 years ago. It's our 7th year.
Watch the quarterback situation. They will rotate O.B. Jones and Jug Barton. It's number 1 O.B. Jones that starts in a shotgun formation with Jarek Scales, the running back. Jones will keep it. He'll run right. He's hit and dropped behind the line for a loss. Yes, Caleb Peters, who continues to play well on run defense from the secondary, comes up and gets the tackle for loss.
That is an outstanding play by Caleb Peters. Everybody is going to block to the right side. What does Peters do? He runs around the end behind the blockers to stop the back in the backfield.
Second down and 11. They split the backs to each side of O.B. Jones. O.B. is showing a little bit of pressure with Nick Boone, and now there's some movement up front, and Southern Arkansas is going to be penalized. The Mule Riders are going to be called for a false start. So that will cost them 5 yards in penalty. The Mule Riders come in as the 4th most penalized team in the league. That's their 58th penalty of the year. They averaged 68 yards per game in penalties. Line of scrimmage is back to the 19. It is now 2nd down and 16 from that point. Southern Arkansas and OBU, the all-time series 5-1 in favor of the visitors from Magnolia. 2 receivers to their side, 1 split in the slot to the far side. Jones will hand it off, and in the backfield, they've got Scales, and Scales is going to be tackled for a loss back to the 12. Brett Carhue was the one that got there first.
Momentum is so big in football. The Bison been having a hard time getting momentum, big-time momentum. Caleb Peters in the backfield. Carhue dodges the blockers, basically goes in unblocked.
Brett Carhue will get the tackle for loss. He has now 6 of those on the year, and it is now 3rd down and 18, back at their 12 for Southern Arkansas. You hold, you're going to get really good starting field position here. The Mule Riders on 3rd down, 4th best in the conference at 48%, but they need to get all the way to the 36 of their own into the field. Shotgun snap, Jones on a quarterback draw is going to keep it. He's across the 20, hit at the 25 and dropped, and that series nets -5, and on comes the punt unit led by Andrew Schreiner, who is dead last in net punting average in the Great American Conference, and guys, he's going to do it into that brisk north wind.
Well, you talked about momentum. You're right. But one thing that's happened so far this year, when you got the momentum, it went directly away from you. With the wind to your back and tremendous field position after this punt, we're going to find out if momentum can happen.
Schreiner stands just outside his own 5-yard line at the south end of Crane Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex. OBU is going to set up for a return, and have they stuffed him? What just happened? My apologies. Did they botch the play? Camden Perry ended up with the football, and OBU tackled him at the 20-yard line.
The officials picked up the football off the ground. They did not mark it. They're having a conference right now. It's almost like the center, when he snapped it, it didn't go all the way through. Might have hit his backside and dropped on the ground.
Yeah, it's a turnover right now. They still have 4th down to the down marker across the way. The Bison special team punt unit was jumping up and down and celebrating as they came off the field. Southern Arkansas still has their punt team out there, so we're going to have to sort through this by the Great American Conference assigned officiating crew led by referee Dan Wilson today.
Yeah, Dan Wilson may hope he didn't get up this morning trying to make this decision.
First down and 10 at the 20, so it is a turnover on downs with 12:46 to play here in the first quarter. And here comes Seth Streeter, the 8-man quarterback from Regent Prep Academy in Tulsa. He'll take his first career start as a collegiate starter, and he'll become the first left-handed quarterback to do those honors as well for Chris Jensen's program. But it's in its 9th year of playing competition and its 10th year of existence, started back in 2012.
I think they're talking about, is this a legal snap or not? That did the ball go all the way back through the center's legs?
It is. That's exactly what they've called, and OBU has the football. Southern Arkansas has turned it over on downs on a bizarre play that didn't even look like it was ready for play. First and 10 at the 20. Buddy Bazell will open as the single setback to the left of Seth Streeter. His first collegiate snap as a starter. Here comes the pressure. Streeter dancing, throws, and the pass is incomplete. And I've been incorrect all year long. I'm thinking about Thompson being a left-hander and not Seth Streeter. Streeter is a right-hander, and it's second down and 10.
Man, he had me fooled. I thought, this guy is so good.
Yeah.
On his first collegiate stop as a left-handed throw, he's going to throw with the right.
Second down and 10 at the 20-yard line. They stack the formation to the near side. They give it straight ahead to Buddy Bazell. Bazell runs for 2 up to the 18, and then he's stonewalled by the middle of that Mule Rider defense led by number 54, Trayvon Letts, a redshirt sophomore from Neosho, Missouri. And guys, I don't know about you, but I've looked all week long, and there is no Washingtons on this roster for SAU.
SAU giving up a lot of yardage on the ground, a lot of points to all kinds of players, and OBU is ruining their momentum that they had on defense.
Third down and long. They'll toss it wide right. Harris on a throw back to Streeter. Streeter looking downfield, throws in the end zone for Phipps, and he overthrew it. It's just off his fingertips. They had the play set up just like they wanted it, and Seth Streeter with the wind to his back led him just a little too far.
Little bit of a knuckling pass as well. And, you know, Braden Phipps really wasn't running full speed, but he was so uncovered. All you got to do is just lay that ball in there.
Guillermo Garcia will come on for a field goal attempt. This year he has made 5 of 6. He is 9 of 10 in his career at Oklahoma Baptist. And this would be a historical field goal if the sophomore from Texas boots it through. Russell to snap it, Phipps to hold it. Everything is perfect. The kick is on the way. He's got plenty of distance, and that is career field goal number 10 into the record books for Guillermo Garcia. Timeout. 12 minutes to go, opening quarter. 3-0 Oklahoma Baptist. This is Bison football presented by McIntyre Law on the Bison Radio Network.
Was that a flea flicker? Was that a flea flicker?
Entering play today, Guillermo Garcia was tied for second all-time with Austin Manger, who kicked in the inaugural season of 2013 for field goals made in a career. Both were 9 of 10. Garcia is now 10 of 11, and he trails only Luke Wendell, who had 13 field goals over a 3-year career here on Bison Hill, for the most in a kicker history at OBU. So Guillermo Garcia will kick it off. He would have liked to have gotten 7. They were fingertips away from doing it. Instead, OBU able to parlay the momentum on defense into a 3-0 lead. Garcia will kick it away from left to right. He'll get a 6-yard ready to approach, or 10-yard ready to approach. He swings his legs, and this is headed for the end zone as well. So 2 more touchbacks to Guillermo Garcia's season this year. And again, he has really gotten better over the last 3 weeks in terms of kickoff yardage. He's reset career best against Arkansas Tech, East Central, and last week against Southeastern.
Well, the momentum started with Garcia's kickoff out of the end zone, taking advantage of that brisk north wind, and that pins them back. No return for Southern Arkansas starting at the 25. A tackle for loss by Peters, a tackle for loss by Carhue, and OBU's up 3-zip.
First down and 10. Obi Jones remains out there as the quarterback. The snap was low. They give it to Scales running right. He's bottled up and falls forward as he'll get 2, maybe 3, close to the 28-yard line. And again, OBU has been very stingy up front, Scott, here early against the run.
Yeah, they've been running a 3-man front, OBU, and then put Nick Boone on the right edge as a linebacker standing upright. Nick Boone made that tackle underneath there.
Gain of 3 for Scales, his longest run in 3 carries early. Line of scrimmage at the 28. Jones to throw. Left-hander throws over the middle. He has a receiver. It's caught, and that is Caden Roach out of the backfield, and Roach is inside the 35-yard line down to the 34. Caden Roach with only his 3rd reception, having 2 for 29, and that's a big, big play through the air for Obi Jones in Southern Arkansas.
Nice pass by Jones, right past Caleb Peters.
Hand off to Scales, that is Scales running left, and he's tackled at the 28-yard line. A 38-yard play for Caden Roach through the air. Again, his longest catch of the year had not been for much before he was utilized there. So it's 2nd down and 8 at the 28-yard line. So it's actually 2nd down and 5. 2 receivers right, 1 to the slot to the near side is Devin McDonald, a freshman from Louisiana. They have a tight end right, and the single setback is Jerick Scales, the sophomore from Osceola, Arkansas. Had a big game last year in Magnolia. They hand it to Scales straight ahead, and he burrows his way right near the first down marker at the 24-yard line. Right here, it looks like it is a first down. They've spotted it to the 23, so it is first down number 2 for SAU.
Jake Landers on the tackle for the Bison. Nice pass by Jones over the middle. You had double coverage. Caleb Peters, who's usually deep, was up forward. The ball got by him.
Matthew Witten, the tight end, motions from tight end right to slot left, and now they're going to check out of the play. Play clock is down to 15 seconds. The game clock is right at 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. 3-0 Oklahoma Baptist here on what is a gloomy afternoon at Shawnee. Jones fakes the handoff, throwing left, wide open over the middle is McDonald. He's dumped truck down at the 4-yard line. That's a gain of 19, and that is just entirely too easy.
Tyler King on the tackle. He's the one that took the legs out. That play action's looking off the defenders.
Jones hands it straight ahead to Scales, picks his way behind left tackle, and then cuts back right to the 1. It's 2nd down and goal to go with 9:37 to play here in the first quarter. And Southern Arkansas wants to go quick. Jones hands it, or fakes the handoff. Now he's in trouble in the backfield. 6 defenders had him. The final 3 finally get him down for a loss of 4 all the way back to the 5.
Boone was the first one there, missed him as you mentioned, but so much pursuit. Great job by the Bison. I like Gabe Elisario's game plan. There's a lot of people jumping some of these gaps.
Southern Arkansas is 4th best in red zone offense in the league, 79%, 22 touchdowns, 14 of those rushing. They've settled for 6 field goal attempts as well. 3rd down and 5. This is a 4-point play for Oklahoma Baptist, leading 3-0 with under 9 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Single setback is Jerick Scales. They have 2 receivers right. 1 to the near side is Kendrick Bender. Now they start to motion to the far side. Caden Roach. The give is actually a keeper for Obi Jones, and he is hit and falls to the 3. It's going to bring up 4th down and goal to go, and more than likely one of the most prolific kick scorers in league history. Austin Wilkerson is going to come out for the extra point.
Elijah Tomlin with the tackle down there out near the goal line for his 64th tackle of the year. He leads the Bison.
This will be, if he converts, his 44th career field goal for Austin Wilkerson. He's a graduate student now. It'll be a short 20-yard attempt to tie the game, and the kick is on the way, and it is good with 8:09 to play here in the first quarter. Each team has exchanged field goals, and it's a 3-3 tie. The first quarter brought to you by McIntyre Law on the Bison Radio Network, presented by Sportscast Productions.
OBU Athletics has partnered with the web-based platform Digital Seat to provide access Here at SCI Supply, you truly can purchase with purpose. Whether you're a university, a K-12 school, a local nonprofit, a church, or an individual, we have exactly what you're looking for. And 100% of the profit from your purchase stays here to fulfill the mission of providing vocational training, employment opportunities, and residential care to individuals with special need. So remember, how does your purchase make a purpose? By investing in South Central, the official office supply store of OBU Athletics.
Eight-play drive for the Mule Riders. It culminates with Austin Wilkerson's 30-yard field goal. Wilkerson will forever be linked to heartbreak as far as Oklahoma Baptist is concerned. I'll never forget the freshman booting through a field goal as time expired from 45 yards in Magnolia, his first year on the roster for the Mule Riders, to give SAU a victory in Magnolia. And to add insult to injury, we went back to the hotel that night, and Wilkerson and his family were celebrating. They'd come into town to watch Austin perform, and we got to witness a family celebration that certainly was well-deserved. 3-3 the score with 8:09 to go here in the first quarter. So a good stand by Gabe Elisario's defense after they had it at first and goal to go with the 4, second and goal to go with the 1. They turned it back, and Wilkerson kicks through a 20-yard game-tying field goal. So Austin Wilkerson, who in 42 kickoffs this year has averaged almost 52 yards, will set sail into this wind. And he approaches from 8 yards, swings his leg. It's a sky kick to the far side. Jackson Kennard is going to bring it in for the 27. He runs right. Kennard out of OCS to the 35, and he angles out of bounds and is shoved out of bounds near the 38 in OBU's into the field. That's good kick coverage and a pretty good kick into the wind. But, Scott, let's go back to that Mule Rider drive. A little bit disheartening, the fact that going into the wind, Obi Jones able to hit him for 2 big plays.
And Southern Arkansas, smartly, they threw those low-line drives to stay out of the higher winds. The play action set it up. The Bison very aggressive on defense, jumping some of those gaps, getting in the backfield. The play action shouldn't have cheated them like that, but it did.
Seth Streeter claps his hands, drops to the 30, throws right, has Phipps at the 43-yard line, and Phipps is shoved out of bounds after a short gain on first down. The coverage was applied by Melvin Smith Jr., the corner. You'll take 5, though. That keeps you in front of the chains on first down. Second down at 5 of the 43. OBU moving from left to right with the wind to their back. Handoff goes to Bazell. Stiff arms a tackle to the end. 45 out of bounds. First down to midfield. Buddy Bazell with a carry of 7. And now we're seeing Bazell start to exploit the perimeter a little bit more than we did earlier this season.
We also saw his right shoulder knock that defender backward and allow him to get another 1.5 yards. That was enough for the first down.
Bazell comes in, the team leader, 343 rushing yards. Streeter sets a screen pass up for Harris, dances, and now Harris is swallowed under at the 47-yard line, a gain of 3. Keelan Harris comes into the ball game as he needs 37 yards to become the all-time leader in receiving yards on Bison Hill.
And he just broke the OBU reception record.
He did. From the 46, second down, Streeter feels the pressure. Seth is going to run. 45, Streeter to the 40, first down to the 35, and hit hard out of bounds on the near side boundary, inside the 30 at the 30, or outside the 30 to the 32.
Back to Keelan. That was his 177th career reception, breaking the mark held by Josh Cornell.
OBU going quickly. They hand it to Bazell, and Bazell then has a defender jump on his back, and he is going to be pulled back for no gain. It's going to bring up second down and 10, and that defender was Dawson Scott.
Dawson came from the left end. He's the left defensive end to unblock from the backside.
They got a pretty generous spot, guys. They gave him almost 2 to the 30-yard line. So it's second down and 8. Keelan Harris, the single receiver to the near side. 3 receivers left. One of those Marshall starts to come to the near side. Streeter under pressure, dumps it across the way. That is Phipps, makes a cut after the catch. First down inside the 20. and he's tackled at the 16-yard line. A simple play for Seth Streeter. That's what the coaches said all week long. We're going to simplify the playbook, but how about the catch after the run after the catch?
Great job by Phipps. He cut back inside on the defender for the first down.
Hand off to Bazell behind right guard, and he burrows his way down to the 12-yard line, so it's going to bring up second down. We're under 5.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Southern Arkansas and OBU, and Shawnee tied at 3. 2nd and 7 at the 12-yard line. The Bison have had really good tempo with their 2 offensive possessions thus far. 3-3 our score, winding towards 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Our first quarter brought to you by Noble McIntyre Law. Sam Sharp motions from tight end right to left. Streeter wants to throw for Harris inside the 5, and he's hit out of bounds at the 4. And now Melvin Smith Jr. is saying that he took the football away from Keelan, and now they're going to say it's an incompleted pass.
Wow, I thought that Harris pulled that down 2 feet down, then got knocked out of bounds. You know, if Smith comes up with the football, he's out of bounds, doesn't matter.
So it's 3rd down and 7 for Oklahoma Baptist at the Southern Arkansas 12-yard line. SAU has a new head coach. Brad Smiley comes from FCS Northwestern State in Louisiana. 3rd down inside the red zone for Oklahoma Baptist. Bison are 11th in the league in red zone efficiency with just 15 touchdowns. Streeter gets the snap. Right-hander throws, looking for Harris, makes an adjustment. It's tipped away. Good defense that time again by Melvin Smith. And that's a great matchup here early to watch.
Well, Smith was all over Keelan Harris, but he had his hands on him too with his back to the football. Harris didn't argue.
It's a pretty good throw, though, by Streeter. I mean, Seth has looked pretty composed out there in 2 offensive series.
Nice back shoulder throw. Needed to go a little bit more to the sideline to get away from Smith.
29-yard field goal for Garcia. It would be his 11th of his career, moving to within 2 of tying Luke Wendell, and also break a 3-3 tie. Russell's snap is back, and the ball is down. The kick is on the way. No pressure whatsoever, and Garcia cleanly boots it through. So OBU has had 2 trips into the red zone. Unfortunately, no touchdowns, but they have come away with points. Timeout, 4:41 to go opening quarter. Bison 6, the Mule Riders 3. This is Oklahoma Baptist football presented by McIntyre Law on the Bison Radio Network.
T-shirts coming your way. Make some noise for the T-shirt toss. Here they go. It looks like it.
Guillermo Garcia just booted through his 2nd field goal of the afternoon. That went from 29 yards to go along with a 36-yarder. Kicks it off, and this will be his 3rd touchback in as many tries this afternoon. And it will be 1st and 10 again for the Mule Riders at the 25-yard line. Total offense here early in the ball game. Oklahoma Baptist 12 plays 50 yards. Southern Arkansas 12 for 72. The Mule Riders have been held to just 15 rushing yards on 2 offensive series, and Southern Ark comes in 4th in the Great American Conference at nearly 240 yards per on the ground. .441 to go, opening quarter. 6-3, and back to work goes Obi Jones. They'll split the backs to each side. Single receivers, the tight end right, 2 to the near side. Now they'll sweep with Blake May. No, it's play action pass. They throw over the middle. The ball's caught. A terrific catch by Seth Johnson as he had the defender that time. Chase Whitebear a fingertip away from hauling that ball in. And it was a pretty good throw by Jones as well to the 49.
Great throw by Jones. Nick Boone had Jones as a sack. Jones broke free for the pass.
First down and 10 to the 49-yard line with just over 4 minutes now to go here in the first quarter. 6-3 OBU, but The Mule Riders hit OBU for another double-digit pass play on first down. That one for 24. Sweeping left, Blake May with running room 40. Gets out of a tackle at the 41-yard line, and they'll stop him out of bounds near the 39 of the Bison, and that will be enough for another Mule Rider first down.
Yeah, this isn't good, Southern Arkansas, moving the ball so well into that stiff north wind.
This is a good offense. They average the fourth most points per game at just under 33 in the conference, entering week number 9. Tied in right, 2 receivers that way as well. They fake the handoff, throw it high right. The ball is dropped. Incomplete. They were looking for Cole Williams, a sophomore wide receiver from Murchison, Texas. It's going to bring up second down and 10 as the clock stops with 3:39 to go in the first quarter.
Boy, Williams had in his mind, I'm going to get a lot of yards right there, and he had some space in front of him, but he ran without the football.
He's a reliable receiver, 23 catches, 260 yards, and 2 touchdowns with a big play through the passing game of 50. Jones fakes the handoff, looking right, pump fakes, he's under duress, and they're going to get him home as they're finally going to sack him back near midfield. On a Saturday night on the dance floor, and he finally was able to get the sack, and they'll spot it at the 48-yard line of OBU.
Well, O.B. Jones is 6'2", 210 pounds, very well built. He's hard to take down. So Lott grabbed him by the top of the shoulder pads and his hands on the jerseys, just trying to swing to get him down. Finally got him down with help.
Southern Arkansas gives up their 10th sack of the year. Oklahoma Baptist with their 9th on defense. 3rd and 19. Jones floats it out the right flat for Caden Roach. Roach makes defenders miss and then is corralled at the 40-yard line. Still 10 yards short of the yardage to gain. With 2:41 and counting to go in the first quarter, it's 6-3 OBU. And now Brett Smiley, the first-year Mule Rider head coach, will bring on the punt team.
That's where a 3-man front works well. On a screen pass, they got to the quarterback. Of course, then the screen group can't get by those second layers.
Andrew Schreiner will punt. He's a redshirt sophomore from Lake Jackson, Texas. Began his collegiate journey at Division I Incarnate Word. Is averaging less than 35 a punt. This is an end-over-end punt into the wind, and Harris on the far side, waving his hand in the air, will make the fair catch at the 13-yard line. So it's only 27 yards, but that's a pretty good punt by Schreiner into the wind, and you managed to put the offense of the other team inside the 15.
I think if I was Keelan, I might have rethought trying to catch that. He had 3 visitors in white coming right down on him. He's standing close to the sideline anyway. The ball's floating around in the air. I mean, I'm glad he made the catch, but it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world if he'd have turned and run away from that one.
All right.
However, Scotty doesn't agree with me.
First down and 10 to the 13. Seth Streeter gives it straight ahead, and that is that E.J. Moore? It may be.
Anderson,
that's 15, and he's tackled at the 15 for a gain of 2.
Yeah, John, he caught that just outside the numbers. They're going for a coffin corner. I thought it was a good job by Harris to catch, because what if that ball just goes inside the pylon with him not catching that?
Like I said, it was a great decision by Keelan.
Nate Anderson, a single setback, just carried for 2. Streeter, a straight drop, clean pocket, throws for Anderson out left. Ball caught at the 18 and stretches towards the 19-yard line. That's a gain of 4. And you can see just how simple this offensive playbook has been this week for Seth Streeter, who really has handled it well.
That time they sent Thomas Meadow deep on the post pattern. That opens up some of that underneath stuff.
3rd down and 4 at the 18-yard line. Streeter fakes the handoff, rolling right, pump fakes, throws near side. He's got Sharp, and a first down catch by Sam to the 25-yard line. Melvin Smith Jr. made the tackle, and that was just a simple bootleg on a fake handoff, and they drug the tight end across the field. He was wide open.
Garrett Roberts, the defensive lineman, in chase on Streeter, but Streeter with those quick feet, when you roll right away from the rush, that gives you time. 3rd
down conversion for OBU. The Bison are 1 of 3 on 3rd down tries to this afternoon. Streeter wanting to throw, now is flush for the pocket. He's going to throw downfield for Harris. The ball's tipped away by Melvin Smith, and I'll tell you, that was a dangerous throw. He was blanketed by the sophomore corner from Bossier City, Louisiana.
Well, Smith had his hands on Harris again. That might have been a dangerous throw, Todd, but I think if Streeter just lobbed it over the top, though where only Harris could catch it, there's a chance.
Bison 1 of 3 on 3rd downs. They come in dead last to the Great American Conference at 25%. for the year on third downs against a Mule Rider defense that is 11th on third down tries. Streeter fakes the handoff, right-hander moving left. Now feeling the pressure, he's just going to throw it away into the Mule Rider sideline, and he took a late shot but no flag, and that's going to bring up third down and 10 to the 25-yard line. Pressure applied by Garrett Roberts, the graduate student from Brusley, Louisiana, at end. So here we go. Third down and long. OBU 0 of 2 on third down conversions, covering 7 yards or more. This is 10. Their one conversion of this drive was 3rd and 4. Two receivers stacked both left and right. Bison need to get to the 35-yard line. Streeter drops all the way back to the 15. Throws for Harris. It's underthrown and tipped. Incomplete. OBU's lucky that wasn't intercepted by Del Christopher Wade, who was roaming at the rover position in the backfield.
Well, I like the package that was in there for the Bison. Two speedsters, Matt Norman going straight up the middle of the field, and then on the numbers was Keelan Harris.
Ian Beek is set to return the punt, 11 for an average of 7.5 this year. And we'll see Braden Phipps punt late here in the first quarter for the first time today with the wind to his back. 2 weeks ago against East Central, he had a school record 71-yard kick with the wind. Rugby-style boot, and he kicks it away, and Ian Beek is going to retreat back to the 30, circles to the 28, running upfield, now bounces out right to the 35, and Ian Beek finally wrestled down. A flag comes down at the end of the play at the 37-yard line. So let's pump the brakes with 9 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Bison leading 6-3, and see what this penalty's about. 40-yard Braden Phipps punt. And our referee this afternoon is Dan Wilson, is assigned by the Great American Conference.
Is this a block in the back?
There were some block in the backs that weren't called. They're picking up flags. Let's see.
Here's Dan Wilson.
Personal foul. Outside of line. Number 2. Southern Arkansas.
The Kendrick Bender was the one that was guilty of the blind-sided block, so instead of starting near the 40-yard line of their own end of the field with 9 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Mule Riders will be penalized for a second time today, and the ball will go back inside the 25 at the 22-yard line.
The reception of that punt came at the 30. The block came at the 32. Play ended at 37. They're marking it off from the point of the chop block, so that's got the ball back outside the 20 at the 22. Pretty good flip on yardage right there.
Fourth offensive series for Southern Arkansas, and Obi Jones has been behind center in all 4. Barring a defensive penalty, final play of the first quarter, 6-3 Oklahoma Baptist. Line of scrimmage for Southern Arkansas officially at the 23-yard line. Single setback. They hand it off. Coming left now is Blake May. May tiptoes across the 30 and then is wrestled down near the 31-yard line. You stop the video right there. You see a lot of green helmets around the football, something that defensive coordinator Gabe Elisario loves to see. And we are 15 minutes into this one on a Saturday afternoon in Shawnee. And at the end of one, Oklahoma Baptist leads 3-win Southern Arkansas 6-3. The first quarter brought to you by Noble McIntyre on the Bison Radio Network, presented by Sportscast Productions.
Official personal injury lawyer. Give them a call today at 877-907-5250 or visit them online at McIntyreLaw.com. Don't forget to also download the McIntyre Law app free on your smartphone today in the App Store.
First quarter numbers, total offense, Southern Arkansas 18 plays, 116 yards. OBU has run 18 plays, 62 yards. Bison lead at 6-3 in his debut. Seth Streeter today is 5 of 12 passing for 34 yards. Leading ground gainer is Seth Streeter, 1 carry for 14. Bazell, 4 carries for 13. We open the second quarter. Southern Arkansas will have that brisk north wind to their back, and they need a yard to keep the drive alive. Handoff running left is Blake May, and May was stacked up but bounced out and gets to the 34. Got 3 on a run that needed just 1.
Well, now Southern Arkansas flips the field, and they have the win. Look for O.B. Jones to go up over the top here.
O.B. Jones, though, didn't have any problem throwing into the wind. We told you had a couple of big plays in their field goal scoring drive earlier. Jones, a left-hander, floats it out right. Cole Williams behind the line has it. Now is up the sideline and danced with and thrown out of bounds at the 46. That's a dozen for Cole Williams and his first catch of the afternoon.
Talk about him floating that ball. Those were ducks out to the left side. That's, I mean, that
they were really a duck.
I mean, the Bison got a break on that ball.
One back set, back to the ground game. It is Blake May running right, 50, 45, slips an ankle tackle, and is down to the 41-yard line. So that's a gain of 10 on first down. And all of a sudden, guys, the Bison have not been able to stop the running game for Southern Arkansas. Back to the ground game again. It's May, and this time he runs into a Bison defender, and he's slung down. Torian Smith was the one that plugged the hole. No gain, 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Boy, Torian Smith is a hole plug out of Edmond Santa Fe High School. Great job. He somehow got around the center. He's the nose tackle. When the running back came by there, boom, that was the end of that run.
13:28 to play, first half, 6-3 OBU, but Southern Arkansas is on the march. They're in the Bison end of the field. Jones to throw on play-action pass over the middle. Scales leaps and makes the catch, and he's inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line, and there were 2 Bison defenders in the vicinity of Jarek Scales.
Brandon Spencer and Princeton Ferguson both had their backs to the quarterback. Had no idea that ball was there, but they were close to the receiver.
Gain of 23, tight end left. They hand it to May, and they're going to blow the play dead. I think somebody moved up front for the Mule Riders. If so, this is going to be their 3rd penalty of the afternoon.
Number 18 offense. Never got set. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yep, it's against Southern Arkansas, as you heard Dan Wilson, our referee, explain. So now the line of scrimmage is at the 22, just outside the red zone, and it's first down at 15. Plays like that, Scott, are the difference in touchdowns and field goals when you get deep into the opponent's end of the field.
It is, but a hurry-up offense, you're going to have a couple of those where the guys don't get set.
Jarek Scales is lined up wing left. They have 2 receivers to the far side. That is Bender along with Williams. The single receiver to the near side is Seth Johnson. Bison are rushing 3 and have been able to get some pressure today in the backfield against Southern Arkansas. Now they're going to bring Scales back, line him up, split with May, and a little bit of confusion on the Mule Riders' part, and they're going to spin the timeout. Timeout, 12:38 to play, first half. Oklahoma Baptist 6, Southern Ark 3. Second quarter brought to you by the OBU College of Graduate and Professional.
At Boomerang, we are proud to say that word of mouth has filled our restaurants for over 15 years. The appeal to Boomerang covers all ages. Come and visit our Shawnee locations and you will see why we have been voted Best Burger, Best Breakfast, and Best Waitress.
What? Look at the wind.
It's died now. Yeah, I just noticed that. Out of the timeout, it's play action pass. Back to throw Jones. Dumps it over the middle for Bender. The throw was low, but the Kendrick able to come back and make the catch as he picks up 12 down to the 10. So it's going to be second down and 3. Jones again. This time hands it to May, coming right, tripped up. And he's going to be very close to the first down marker. He's at the 8-yard line. Guys, have we been seeing things? There's absolutely no wind. The flags are totally limp at the north end of the stadium.
Yeah, I think that bank of clouds that came through had that burst of energy with it, and once it went by, it's kind of little sunny holes there.
First down and goal to go at the 7. Southern Arkansas trails 6-3. Mule Runners in the red zone for the second time. They've settled for a field goal on their other trip, trying to grab their first lead of the afternoon. Blake May, the sophomore from Frisco, Texas, 6 foot 200 pounds, is the single setback. In the slot to the near side, Seth Johnson, 2 receivers wide left. Jones a delay. Hands it straight ahead to May, and he's able to take Elijah Tomlin for a little bit of a ride of about 5 yards before Tomlin has some help from his teammates to drop him at the 2.
Yeah, there was a chance to stop that play at the 5. You really got to hand it to the ball carrier right there, because Tomlin had a lot of green shirts with him there by the time they got him down.
Scales comes in, 697 yards. Roach with 241 yards, and Blake May, 213 on the ground. Second and goal to go, Southern Arkansas. Jones will try to keep it, runs up the middle, and runs right into Nick Boone, who twists him down for no gain. So it's third down, and here we go, another 4-point play for the OBU defense.
Job by Trajan Lands getting in the backfield, slowing down that run game.
Well, we've had 3 4-point plays so far. Let's see if we can go 4 for 4.
Jake Landers comes in, a sophomore at will linebacker for OBU. A little extra muscle out there on a possible running attempt here. Third down and goal to go, Southern Arkansas at the 2-yard line. Jones on a stretch play, hands it to May, tiptoes and did not get in. He's stopped at the 1-yard line. Torian Smith was the one that plugged the hole, but May, there wasn't much of a hole in that left side, just kind of nimble-footed towards the hole, and that enabled the Bison to shift and get over there and stonewall the ball carrier.
They're going for it.
Torian Smith did a good job fighting the center. Center's trying to push him to the left. He comes back around the right side of the center, and the running back, May, runs right into him.
Mule Riders in the red zone this year have turned it over on downs 3 times. On 4th down conversion, Southern Arkansas 9th of the week, 8 of 16. OBU's defense on 4th down conversions, 5th, 10 of 18. Jones out of a single setback will keep it, runs right, and did he get in? It looks like he did. No sign, yes. Now, touchdown.
Just a short power play out of the shotgun, just inside the 1. You got the running back, May, leading the way for O.B. Jones.
So the first touchdown of the afternoon belongs to Southern Arkansas with 9:45 to play here in the first half. And pending Austin Wilkerson's extra point, it's 9-7 Mule Riders. Camden Perry will snap it. Everything is perfect at the south end, and Wilkerson's extra point is on the way, and it is good. That is his 32nd converted extra point in 34 tries this year, and number 146 of his record-setting career. Timeout, 9:45 to play, opening half from Shawnee at Southern Arkansas 10, Oklahoma Baptist 6. Second quarter brought to you by the OBU College of Graduate and Professional Studies on the Bison Radio Network.
State Farm. Visit Dennis Moore's, regional Shawnee State Farm agent for all of your auto, home, and property insurance. Located at 2400 Moore's State Farm Insurance.
Andrew Rice, who is the offensive coordinator for Southern Arkansas, really in a good rhythm on that 12-play, 78-yard drive, mixing run and pass. And Southern Arkansas leads 10-6 pending this kickoff from Austin Wilkerson, who earlier in the game would have been kicking with that wind to his back. There's very little wind. The flag's now just gently blowing to the pole at the north end. Well, Scott, the onus is on the offense. It's been on the defense a lot during this 5-game losing streak with OBU getting off to such slow starts, but they've led 3-0. We were tied at 3. It was 6-3, and now 10-6 Southern Arkansas.
Yeah, we got to get the ball in Keelan Harris's hands. He's only had one little short reception.
Wilkerson will hit it just a yard deep inside the goal line. It'll be a touchback. First down and 10 for Oklahoma Baptist. So the Bison have squandered some opportunities, getting deep into Mule Rider territory not once but twice in this first half, and had to settle for field goals of 36 and 29 yards. 9:45 to play here in the first half. Next week, OBU ventures to Arkansas for the final time against Henderson State at 2 o'clock kickoff in Arkadelphia against the Reddies, who are receiving votes in the national poll this week. Henderson State playing at 2 this afternoon in Bethany against Southern Nazarene. Empty set for Seth Streeter. A 3-by-2 look. Streeter drops, throws out near side. The ball is caught at the 32-yard line, up to the 35. On the catch was Nate Anderson, and that's going to be close to a first down as they spot it down at the 37-yard line, a gain of a dozen.
Nice little play. Michael Marshall, the outside receiver, does a deep flag. Anderson just comes in under him in the vacated area.
Anderson now in the backfield with Seth Streeter. Streeter a 2-yard drop, looking right, throws on the run, and just heaves it out of bounds. And, you know, the coaches have said all season long, even the fall camp, about Seth, he is capable for a third-team quarterback. They said because his history is that of an 8-man quarterback, a lot of times he just wants to tuck it and run. There was an instance, Scott, maybe he should have just decided to run, as there was a little bit of running room on that right edge.
Yeah, he did, because Keelan Harris vacated that area. The cornerback and a safety went with Harris, so it was open around the right end.
Second down and 10 at the 37-yard line. 10-6, Southern Arkansas. 9:15 to play here in the second quarter. Brought to you by the OBU College of Graduate and Professional Studies, here from Crane Family Stadium in the Herd Athletic Complex.
Is there a reason we have first down on the down marker and third down on the board?
Yep. To be honest with you, I thought it might be intentional grounding. They didn't say anything because they didn't see a flag until very late. And so that's going to be a loss of down, and the line of scrimmage goes back to the 27-yard line. So it's second down and 20 for OBU, and one dog shaking his head.
It wasn't grounding. He wasn't going to be going to be tackled. There was a mix-up on Harris, went to the post, and Streeter threw it to the flag. That was the difference.
Michael Marshall is split to the near side. Anderson's into the backfield. Phipps and Harris are split wide right with Sharp the tight end left. Back to throw is Streeter. Throws over the middle for Harrison. He threw it behind him, incomplete. And again, Melvin Smith Jr. jumping up and down, had a hand on that ball.
You could sit here and forget what is happening elsewhere when OBU's on offense and just watch these two guys. They're having a big battle tonight.
Yeah,
big battle.
You could see, Brooksy, on that first series, that was going to be the matchup of the day to watch. Smith at corner and Keelan Harris, who's closing in on being the all-time leading receiver in school history at OBU. Thomas Meadow joins Harris and Phipps as one of three receivers left. Anderson will circle back on third down and 20. Streeter dancing. Now Seth under duress. Almost slipped. He's inside the 10, running right. Throws, and it's intercepted. He threw it right to Giovanni Zasso at the 34-yard line, and Giovanni able to tiptoe out of bounds.
There's where you try to make things happen way, way out of position. I mean, throw the ball away there.
Yeah, the ball was 10 yards underthrown from the receiver. Only two white shirts could pick that up.
Neither one of these teams are particularly great. Southern Arkansas -3, OBU -5 in turnover margin. And the first mistake of the afternoon goes the way of the Bison.
Let's go to the Great American Conference scoreboard at the end of one. Southeastern on the road leading Monticello 14-7 at Arkansas Tech. First periods in the book. Early in the second, Southwestern and Ark Tech tied at 7.
New quarterback out there is Judd Barton. They'll hand it off to Scales, who's spun down at the 26-yard line. Give him 8 on first down. Mule Riders are averaging better than 6 on first down snaps today.
And Southern Nazarene with a 6-0 lead at home against Henderson State 4 minutes into the second.
Judd Barton hands it to Scales. He's stacked up, then runs right into Nick Boone, who's going to twist him backwards. He needed to get to the 24.5. He was stonewalled at the 25, so it's third and less than a yard for SAU.
Nice hit by Boone. Not only did he put a good lick with the shoulder pads, he grabbed the jersey, pulled it, got help to stop that running play.
8:15 in county to play, first half. OBU desperately needs to keep him out of the end zone after the first interception from Seth Streeter today. third and less than a yard. Judd Barton, the redshirt freshman, transfer from Alexandria, Louisiana, as the quarterback. Scales has been featured on two-hand drive. Ball in the left hash. They need less than a yard. They call Scales' name again. He was hit short and then bounds off contact and dives down to the 22. So he picks up 3, and that's another first down for the Mule Riders.
Papula had Scales, a big bear hug, but he's already crossed the line.
11th first down of the ball game for Southern Arkansas. OBU with 5 as we are at the halfway point of quarter number 2. OBU 1-5 all time against the Mule Riders on the gridiron. In the slot to the near side is Roach. Back to throw. Barton all day long. Throws over the middle, receiver open, and it's caught back in the end zone. McDonald, touchdown.
Well, a perfect throw by Barton, and Coach Smiley, the new coach at at Southern Arkansas, knew he could make those plays because they were at Northwestern State, and he made the switch over.
Before last week, OBU was the best pass defense in the conference. They dipped to 4th, giving up 189. But, Scott, what's been alarming the last couple of weeks, both Southeastern and now Southern Arkansas have had guys making plays down the middle of the field.
Yeah, on the post pattern especially, and getting behind the safety, that's just something you can't have happen.
Wilkerson's extra point is good as he splits the uprights. 14 unanswered by SAU. The Mule Riders, with 7:26 to go in the first half, lead it 17-6. Back after these local messages on the Bison Radio Network.
Spending life wisely means taking small steps towards a life of love and impact. And we're here to inspire and empower you along the way. Spend life wisely. First United Bank.
Oklahoma's full-service party pack rentals company. They put customer back in the phrase customer service. Visit their website at okctentsandmore.com.
Todd Miller, Scott Wallace, John Brooks, John Zonlow, the crew with you here on this Saturday afternoon. It started good, 3-0, then 6-3 OBU. Since then, 14 straight points on touchdown runs of 1 yard by Jones and Jed Barton's 22-yard touchdown hookup to McDonald. And all of a sudden, the hole deepens at 17-6 SAU.
Well, here it is, and that really wasn't on the defense, even though it was wide open on the center field play to the post. That interception, given that very short field for the Mule Riders, makes it tough on any defense.
7:26 to play in the first half. Next week we go to Arkadelphia, final road trip of the year. 2 weeks from today, it's a night kickoff against Southern Nazarene. That'll be at 6 o'clock here at Crane Family Stadium in the Herd Athletic Complex. Basketball, incidentally, this afternoon, the men's team hosted a scrimmage at 4 o'clock at the Noble Complex, open to the public against Dallas Baptist. The Patriots picked second behind West Texas in the Lone Star Conference preseason coaches poll. Here is Wilkerson's left-to-right kick, and again it heads for the end zone and another touchback. So when they tried to take kickoff returns out of the game, they certainly have succeeded today with two really good place kickers in Austin Wilkerson and Guillermo Garcia.
Also, that questionable grounding penalty against Streeter really hurt the Bison on that last drive. I mean, a defender might have touched his shoulder pad. He broke loose. Whether he's in the pocket or not, it was just a miscommunication to the wide receiver. He wasn't throwing the ball away.
Sam Sharp is the tight end. They have a 3-by-1 formation. No running backs in this set. Seth Streeter is going to keep it at a quarterback draw. Streeter stretched out and ankle tackled after a yard gain to the 26. Really good play.
Well, that was no design quarterback draw because that untouched linebacker, I believe, coming right up the middle on that blitz, he had no choice but to run with the football.
Second down and 9 at the 26. Streeter looking to run again. Tiptoes, now dives across the 30-yard line of the 31. So give him 5 yards. It's going to bring up Third down and very manageable. And, boy, you have to be able to sustain drives, especially when you're down 2 scores.
I tell you, those back-to-back quarterback draws, they do that again, a little fake and step back. As soon as Streeter starts going 2 steps forward, everybody comes up forward to be somebody wide open on the back
3
end.
receivers bunched left. They hand it off to E.J. Moore. Got out of a high tackle, but he's not going to get to the edge, and he'll lose all the way back to the 27-yard line. So on 3rd down and 4, they try to run to the short side. That's where Southern Arkansas had the play designed, and it's a loss. Another punt upcoming for the Bison. 4th down and 7. Officially at the 28-yard line, so Braden Phipps will punt. Braden has punted once today for 45 yards. That was with what wind there was to his back in the first quarter. Phipps stands inside the 15. Russell's snap is back on the mark. Braden kicks it, and it's end over end, and it takes a huge roll inside the 35, still rolling down to the 30-yard line. He got about 10 or 12 yards with the roll. Still pretty good starting field position for the Mule Riders, trying to build on a 17-6 advantage with 5:47 to play here in the first half.
Big stop here for the Bison. They've got to slow the Mule Riders down. Really need a score here before halftime.
43 yards, so his longest of 2 punts today for Braden Phipps. Officially, the ball just shy of the 31-yard line. 5:47 to play. Where is that mojo that the defense had the first couple of series early? Handoff coming right, Caden Roach, and not much doing. He's wrestled down at the 33-yard line.
Jake Landers, Torian Smith, they must have heard you there.
Yep, Torian has had himself a good first half.
He's very good. I mean, he is beating the center at the nose tackle position. Even when he gets double teams, he's sidestepping, and he's a big man.
5:18 to play first half. 17-6 Southern Arkansas. 2nd down and 8 of the 33-yard line. And Obi Jones is back out there after Judd Barton directed a touchdown drive, throwing for a 22-yard score, his 4th touchdown pass of the year on the last drive. Slot right, receiver moves. That's Roach from right to left. They'll hand it to him on a jet sweep and nowhere to go. Hit and drop shy of the 34. So here we go, another 3rd down and long conversion upcoming for the Mule Riders.
That was Caleb Peters coming from the right side of the defense. And then once again, I'm watching Torian Smith against the center, pushing him left, but Torian reads that play that's going left. If Peters didn't beat him to it, I think Smith might have been in on the tackle.
Here we go, big 3rd down. Southern Arkansas is 1 for 5 today against OBU's defense. 3rd and 7. They need to get to the 41, ball just shy of the 34. Jones to throw. As all day long, throws it over the middle. The ball's caught by Kendall Williams for a 1st down, and he's stopped finally at midfield, a conversion of 16 on 3rd and 7.
Perfect throw. Pretty good, actually, a decent job defensively by the 2 defenders, but it was just a great throw.
2nd down, or 1st down and 10, hand off to Roach. He's tackled in the backfield and dropped. He got free initially from Brett Carhu, and then he had some help from a couple of teammates as the loss will go for 5 back to the Mule Rider 45.
Well, that's a big, big play. Carhu's been in the backfield multiple times today.
3:41 to play here in the first half. 17-6 Southern Arkansas. They have the football at their own 45-yard line after a loss of 5 on 1st down. 2 receivers left and right. Well, there's been receivers, it's fair to say, running open. There's been some really good throws and catches made by Obi Jones and his receivers. Jones under pressure again, running right, gets away from Tomlin, now being pursued, and is going to angle out of bounds at the 48-yard line. So he gets 3 of the 5 back of the lost yardage of the first previous play. And again, it's 3rd down and long for the Bison defense.
Trajan Lands is chasing the quarterback. Also in the backfield is linebacker Kendall Williams, just a sophomore out of McKinney, Texas.
3rd down and 12 for Southern Arkansas at the 48-yard line. They've converted just 2 of 6 on 3rd down, including a 3rd and 7 on a big catch by Kendall Williams earlier on this drive. And now we get a timeout with 2:58 to play here in the first half. 17-6 Mule Riders. Our first half brought to you by the OBU College of Graduate and Professional Studies.
There was a big-time mix-up and a very, very smart call from the sideline because everybody was confused. Everybody. and everybody's yelling out on the field. They're yelling from the sideline. Finally, that had to be called right there. Let's take a quick timeout. You're listening to the OBU Football
OBU
Network.
fans,
Now
a
a timeout for a 10-second station
from
ID.
the convenience of your own mobile device. Text hashtag BAA at.
Scott Wanish vacating the booth, heading down to the field. He'll talk to both coordinators, Gabe Elisario and Daniel Eaton, bookending halftime here at Crane Family Stadium in the Hurt Athletic Complex. Henderson staying on the road next week. 2 weeks from today, a Saturday night affair. It might be a cool one here at Crane Family Stadium in the Hurt Athletic Complex against SNU. Those two teams are playing today in Bethany. At last check, it was a tight game with the Crimson Storm, already with 3 wins of the year, leading against the Reddies. 3rd down and 12 at the 48-yard line. Jones, play action pass to the 40. Look at the time he has. Throws over the middle, and it's caught. Now, did he get to the first down marker? He did not. Needed to get to the 40, and he was stopped short of forward progress at the 41. So it's 4th down and a yard. Southern Arkansas is going to go for it very, very quickly. They're up to the line of scrimmage. OBU with a 3-man defensive front on 4th down and a yard. And now the head linesman comes in at OBU. Wants to take a timeout to make sure they have the right personnel in order. It was a good tackle. I think it was Chase Whitebear that came up and hit the ball carrier and stopped him short of getting to the 40-yard line. Speaking of Whitebear, he has had a terrific season. He has 3 interceptions. He's one of 2 Bison freshmen in program history to reach that single season total. Deontay Meeking is a freshman back in 2013, had 4. Whitebear with 4 pass breakups and 3 interceptions, tied for 3rd in that combination stat in the league. Meeking had 4 interceptions in 2013 and 2015. Eugene Estes also had 4 in 2013. So the next pick, and OBU would like to have one from anybody, the next pick for Whitebear would put him into the record books.
Chance to have some decent field position. You make a play right here. You got 2:28 to go if you can stop them.
4th and less than a yard at the 40.5-yard line. Mule Riders need to get to the 40 with 2:28 to play here in the first half. It's 17-6 Southern Arkansas. 2 receivers to the near side. 1 receiver split wide left. They have 2 tight ends on this side. Now they're going to pooch kick it with O.B. Jones, and that's not a good punt at all. And it's finally down near the 25-yard line by Trent Franklin. And you want to talk about a pooch kick. See, that's about all it was.
Well, it was a 16-yard pooch kick. I suppose it could have been a 9-yard pooch kick because when he kicked it, it went about 9 yards, got about a bounce of about 7. So they end up with 16. I see what they were trying to do. Not really a bad call, but he drove that off the side of his foot. That would have been, you would have been yelling shank punt under any other circumstance.
You're right. At that juncture, they should have just gone for it. Didn't lose much field position. From the 25, Streeter goes back to work, gets a block, running right. Streeter with a run, throws. Harris with the catch. And out of bounds at the 39-yard line. 14 for Keelan on that reception.
And he's second, right?
Harris now has 2 catches for 17 yards. He needs 33 to move into the number 1 place all-time of the career receiving yardage record mark. At the 39-yard line, first down, Streeter drops inside the 30. Pocket holds. He's going to throw it over the middle for Harris, and it sails over Key's head and could have been picked off by Braden Wade, the backup free safety.
Well, when you got a guy like Keelan Harris, it's not, unbelievable to think you had 4 white shirt, blue helmeted players around him on that throw. 4 of them.
Yeah, 1:49 to play here with the first half. 17-6 Southern Arkansas. Halftime show brought to you by Noble McIntyre coming up in a moment. Anderson motions to the near side. Seth Streeter has him wide open, but Streeter's not even looking this way, and he's going to heave it out of bounds on the far side, and it's 3rd down and 10 to the 39.
We're looking at a young man who has stepped into the quarterback spot with Wolf injured. He's got a lot of fire out there, but he is yet to start checking off and looking to the next side. And that time, wide open on the near side. Was it Julian Clark?
No, it was Nate Anderson.
Oh, yeah, right. No, yeah, you're right. It was Nate Anderson. Yeah, wide open.
There's a flag down, and it's a hold against Oklahoma Baptist. So Southern Arkansas will take the penalty. It's going to be second down now. They'll let us scrimmage back at the 29, so it's 2nd and 20 for Seth Streeter. If you ever spend any time with Seth, though, I'll tell you, you just feel better about yourself and the world. Seth, a quick drop, will throw it out right. That's Phipps, turns up field 40, and he's short of the 45, tiptoes out of bounds at the 44. So he's going to pick up about well over half of what he needed to. In fact, they're going to say stepped out of bounds at the 41, so it's a gain of 12, bringing up 3rd down and 8. 1:35 to play. Clock stops as Phipps was able to get out of bounds. Empty backfield, 2-by-3 set. Streeter from the 31 throws, and it's short. He was looking for Michael Marshall near the first down marker at the 48-yard line. And I'll say this, there's not many programs that are 1-7 and mired in a 5-game losing streak that could trot your 13 quarterback out there and be competitive. That tells you a lot about this coaching staff and a lot about these kids. So 4th and 8 at the 41-yard line. The Bison continue to be dreadful on 3rd downs. They're now 1 of 7 today. Braden Phipps to punt, and back to receive it is Ian Beek. He's at his own 20. No pressure, and Phipps an end-over-end kick. It's going to hit at the 32, and he gets another roll. Down to the 20-yard line. OBU has it surrounded there, and finally it will be touchdown. That's where Southern Arkansas will have it. 1:19 to play here in the first half, and the Mule Riders have 2 timeouts left, and they have a really good field goal kicker as well in Austin Wilkerson. Just a 30-yard punt that time by Phipps.
OBU fans, do you want the chance to support
Got an update, Southern
OBU student athletes from the convenience of your own mobile device? Text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014 to support BAA student athletes. Donations are fully tax deductible, and every gift makes a difference in the OBU student athlete's life. Again, text hashtag BAA at OBU to the
second quarter out there at running back. 2nd down and 7. Your Riders have gone with a nice tempo offensively all afternoon long. Again, it's May, straight up the gut, first down across the 35, up to the 39-yard line. And they just did get him to the ground after the whistle had blown. And Blake May is shaken up now at the end of that run. He tried to get up, rolled over on his right side. If you're watching on video, you can see that. Now he's laying on his back with 52 seconds to play here in the first half. Southern Arkansas 17, Oklahoma Baptist 6. And Scott, I think you would agree, this might be one of the greatest understatements I've ever made. OBU can ill afford to give up any points go into the locker room because they will have momentum to start the second half of the form of the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. They're going to have to come back and really need a score to come back into this before halftime, but that's going to be devastating if Southern Arkansas get on the board here.
Blake May being helped up, and now it looks like he's going to be able to walk off. He's a little wobbly as he does so to the far side. This is a north-south facility. Southern Arkansas is on the east side of the venue. And now once May is off the field, Obi Jones and company ready to go to work. First down and 10 to the 39-yard line. Matthew Witt, the tight end, motions to the far side. They look for Witten that way. He has the catch, turns up field 45, shoved out of bounds at the 49-yard line. And it looks like that is at the 49 of OBU. So that'll be enough for another Mule Rider first down. Conserving time with 2 timeouts. 41 seconds left to play here in the first half. Tied in his left. Single setback is Caden Roach. They have rotated all 3 of the running backs in pretty equally here this afternoon. OBU will rush 3 from their own 40, from the 49 of the Bison. Jones to throw is swallowed under by Carhu and sacked at the 45. And that is a covered sack, Brooksy, because he had a long time to survey the field.
He sure did. A great job by the secondary that time. Everybody had a wide receiver, man-to-man, and no place for him to go. And you know what? I keep looking here at this 240-pound freshman and thinking to the future. I tell you what, we're going to see a lot of Brett Carhu, and I think we're going to talk about him like some of the legends for OBU football before this is over.
I totally agree with you. And, Scott, do you agree? I mean, Carhu just, it seems like really from just before the midway point of the season has just really blossomed into a fine player.
Yeah, and then when you just have a three-man front, it's harder to get to the quarterback, and you're getting there with a three-man, and then you said it was a coverage sack. Great job for Carhu to get there and just a big smash on Jones.
He's a third team, maybe even a fourth team defensive end when preseason starts. Once he got to that third team spot, and once he had a chance to get in the game, he's been making plays from the time he finally sniffed the field, and now he doesn't sniff the field, he's part of the field.
Carhu with 3 tackles, 2 solo, 1 for loss, and a sack. That sack just moments ago was a loss of 7. So it's 2nd down and 17 at the 45-yard line for Southern Arkansas on their own end of the field. Trajan Lands and Peters, the leading tackles today with 9 and 8 stops respectively. And again, Landers has a tackle for a loss for OBU. Back to throw is Jones. They set up a screen, and it's incomplete. And he had some heavy pressure again coming from Xavier Lott off the edge. So Carhu may have just saved this drive defensively for Oklahoma Baptist. Now you have them well behind the sticks at 3rd and 17 at their own 45.
OBU only has 1 timeout left. You're trying to figure out here. I guess if they hold him here, they might call the timeout, have him punt, get 1-2 shots.
Hand off, running left, Caden Roach, and Roach bucking his way inside the 40, and he may have just picked up the first down.
Yeah, so much for that thought.
Holy cow. You let them out of a 3rd and 16, and they, I don't want to say concede, but they attack on the ground and nearly picked it all up.
Well,
17 seconds to play in the half.
They went 3rd and 16, and 9 of it was untouched, but the last 7, he had people all over him. All you had to do is just stop him short. You're going to be out of this thing. Now with 17 seconds to go, the wind really not much of a factor right now. It's died down, but still, you got 17 seconds. You got a shot to throw short, get out of bounds, and then toss her in the end zone.
There's a timeout. Southern Arkansas has used their 2nd of 3 timeouts here in this first half, and it is just inches shy of the first down. I'm going to say he managed to get 16 3/4 yards.
Well, okay, I guess he didn't get the first down, did he?
No, he didn't.
It makes no difference here. I mean,
but I'm telling you, they're punting the football for sure if he doesn't get much on that carry.
Oh, without question.
And now they're going to go for it, and
well,
the
sure.
worst they do, they're stonewalled, and there's just a few seconds left at OBU with 1 timeout here in the half.
The Mule Riders have another timeout, so if they get the first down here and need it, they can quickly call the timeout. They still got a shot at a couple of throws to the end zone if they want, if they work the clock right here.
Austin Wilkerson's season long is 45 yards. His career long 48 against OBU in the game winner back in 2019. I think I'd earlier said 46. It was a 48-yarder by Wilkerson to break OBU's hearts in Magnolia. So 4th down and inches. Jones out of the gun. Now he's going to keep it. He'll pick up the first down to the 35 and is finally tackled to the 32-yard line as he ran into Caleb Peters at the safety position. And they'll stop the clock momentarily for the movement of the chains with 11 seconds to play in the half. Now Jones is ready from the 32-yard line. Obi stands tall, looking left, throwing to the near side. Caught by Devin McDonald, tackled inside the 25-yard line.
They can't get the timeout.
And they can't get a timeout called. That's the end of the first half. And the Bison finally get a break, and they will stand tall just enough to keep it a 2-score game in favor of the Mule Riders at 17-6, going to the halftime locker room as we go down to the field. And Scott Wanish with Gabe Elisario.
Hey, Coach, came in with a lot of energy early. Looked like you were shooting some of those gaps. So what was the game plan there?
You know, we know that they're going to run a lot of outside zone. Their quarterback is mobile, and we just got to be gap sound. But we're just trying to get them behind the sticks and get them off schedule. That's really our thought to that, just to mix it up. Pressure and then back off, and just try to keep them on their toes.
Getting off schedule, how about Brett Carhu? That was a big sack to slow him down before half.
Yeah, you're right, Scott. You know, he's got a great motor on him, and that guy's going to give you everything he has, and he's only going to get better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Gabe Elisario, first-year defensive coordinator at Oklahoma Baptist, visiting with Scott Wallace. Down on the field is the Bison Brigade, the marching band, set to take and play their next to last home contest of the season here at Crane Family Stadium in the Herd Athletic Complex. We have reached the end of the first half in Shawnee with the score, Southern Arkansas 17, Oklahoma Baptist 6. The second quarter has been brought to you by the OBU College of Graduate and Professional Studies. This is Bison Football, a presentation of Sportscast Productions on the OBU Radio Network.
OBU Athletics and First United Bank are now excited to announce that First United Bank is the official banking partner of OBU Athletics. Visit their North Harrison Street location today and ask about how you can make a statement with the OBU debit card.
Estate planning is a crucial step in protecting your family's future. With an estate plan, you can decide how to distribute your assets, make healthcare decisions, and support ministries after you pass away. It involves some pretty big decisions. But with guidance from Water's Edge, you can plan for your children's future, give to kingdom causes, and get expert help along the way. Build a solid foundation for your family. Start your estate plan today. Visit watersedgeservices.org.
I'm Noble McIntyre. When I started the McIntyre Law Firm, I knew I didn't want to be a firm with a reputation that settled as quickly as possible with as little effort as possible. I didn't want the defense lawyers and insurance companies to see my name on the list of firms that will always settle and never want to fight for the full value of a client's claim. A firm that avoids the courtroom in exchange for an easy settlement will never be offered full value. If you need someone that tries cases and doesn't just settle, call McIntyre Law for a meeting at no cost to you. We are McIntyre Law, and we will fight for you.
Here at SCI Supply, you truly can purchase with purpose. Whether you're a university, a K-12 school, a local nonprofit, a church, or an individual, we have exactly what you're looking for. And 100% of the profit from your purchase stays here to fulfill the mission of providing vocational training, employment opportunities, and residential care to individuals with special need. So remember, how does your purchase make a purpose? By investing in South Central, the official office supply store of OBU Athletics.
At Boomerang, we are proud to say that word of mouth has filled our restaurants for over 15 years. The appeal to Boomerang covers all ages. Come and visit our Shawnee locations and you will see why we have been voted Best Burger, Best Breakfast, and Best Waitress.
Spending life wisely means taking small steps towards a life of love and impact. And we're here to inspire and empower you along the way. Spend life wisely. First United Bank.
OBU fans, do you want the chance to support OBU student athletes from the convenience of your own mobile device? Text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014 to support BAA student athletes. Donations are fully tax deductible, and every gift makes a difference in the OBU student athlete's life. Again, text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014. For more information, log on to obubison.com.
I'm Noble McIntyre. When I started the McIntyre Law Firm, I knew I didn't want to be a firm with a reputation that settled as quickly as possible with as little effort as possible. I didn't want the defense lawyers and insurance companies to see my name on the list of firms that will always settle and never want to fight for the full value of a client's claim. A firm that avoids the courtroom in exchange for an easy settlement will never be offered full value. If you need someone that tries cases and doesn't just settle, call McIntyre Law for a meeting at no cost to you. We are McIntyre Law, and we will fight for you.
I mean, it was a very light but
I
steady
never-
shower. I didn't either until I
never
left the
noticed
booth
the
at
shower.
halftime. Yep. All right, here we go. Ready for the start of the second half. Austin Wilkerson, who has put it in the end zone on each of his kickoff attempts in the first half, will kick it away as Southern Arkansas had the game's first possession. The Bison came out, held them to negative yardage. OBU took a 3-0 lead. Game was tied at 3. It was 6-3 Bison, and then 14 unanswered on a Jones 1-yard run and a touchdown pass from Judd Barton. That's where we are. Moments for the third quarter, starting 17-6. Keelan Harris yet to have a chance to return one. Awaits, and off we go here in the second half. Wilkerson will send this one short of the goal line. Harris is going to bring it out. Key inside the 10 to the 15. Harris to the 20. Spin, stays at his feet to the 30. Keelan up to the 35-yard line. And that's where the run ends, a return of 30. And you wonder if just for a split second, Brooksy, Harris didn't think about just going ahead and setting OBU up at the 25 on a fair catch.
Oh, I think he did. I think it was a mini second there, and the ball was just about to cradle into his arms, and he changed his mind. As it turns out, it was a change worth 9 yards upfield.
From the 34 with 14:53 to play here in the third quarter, OBU will have it for the first possession of the second half. Seth Streeter will have Buddy Bazell in the backfield, offset to his left. Sam Sharp, the tight end, motions to the near side. And the handoff goes to, that's E.J. Moore, I think.
Yeah, it is
Moore
E.J.
is
Yeah.
dancing to the backfield and swarmed under for a loss of 3 back to the 31-yard line.
First appearance in the game.
It is. So second down upcoming. Bison really put the pedal to the metal early in the game in terms of tempo. They've slowed it down just a little bit. Keelan Harris today, incidentally, has 17 yards, and he's 16 more to surpass Josh Cordell for all-time receiving yards in a career. Streeter's going to take off, and Seth with some running room across the 40 up to the 41, so give him 10. And the sophomore out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, is able to put it third down and short for OBU as there's a mule rider down to the end of that Streeter run.
You know, we've seen just enough of the quarterback draw, a couple of times forced into it. When somebody blitzed up the middle, he was able to jump around them. A couple of times it was definitely a called quarterback draw, but we've seen enough after 4 runs there. Streeter's just a little bit of a rabbit out there, Todd. I mean, he really is. We might nickname him the rabbit because it looks like he could do a little bit of damage with his legs. That got Scotty smiling.
And I actually thought we might see Seth run a little bit more than he has in the first half. 4 for 20 yards in the first half, and 14 of those on one carry. And it comes down to the fact that Streeter is healthy. Thompson is obviously out for the rest of the year, and Dayton Wolf is nowhere close to being 100%. In fact, we thought Dayton would be the backup quarterback should Streeter become injured or this game got off the tracks in the first half, but he is down there in street clothes, or it was during warm-ups, so he will not play today as they are attending to the injured mule rider.
Garrett Roberts.
Garrett Roberts is walking off slowly. He is the defensive end who came in with 18 tackles. That was third most among their 4-man defensive front. He's a disruptive force, 2 tackles for loss and 1 sack in the first 7 games for Southern Arkansas.
Looks like the Bison might go here. Daniel Eaton's out on the field rounding the offense together. Well, it's still only third down. Excuse me.
I was going to say, why wouldn't they go for it?
I thought that they just switched it to third. We're going to switch it to fourth, but it says third. But a great run by Streeter nonetheless. Great job with running full speed right up the middle.
Buddy Bazell is out there. They have 2 tight ends, Sharp and Drain, and it's a wildcat set for Bazell. They motion to Bobby to the far side, fake the handoff. Bazell with first down and more. He spins across the 46 and down to the 47-yard line. We've seen some oddball things this year, Scott. If they would have quit kicked on third down, I was out of here.
Well, I was looking at the down, and, sometimes they switch the marker, and you're wondering what down really is it. I have to double-check on the scoreboard.
And you are right in that statement. First and 10 to the 48-yard line. Single set back is more. They fake the handoff, toss it out left. Michael Marshall looking for some blocks. Will get what he can as he tiptoes out of bounds at the 46-yard line in Southern Arkansas territory. Now there's a little bit of jawing going on between Braden Phipps, also Del Christopher Wade, and Zay Woods, as well as Michael Marshall, who caught that pass and turned it into a 6-yard gain.
You had Harris in the slot, Marshall outside. Harris blocked for him, and then Marshall broke a tackle.
Second down and 4 at the 46 of the Mule Riders. Streeter to throw, rolling right. Seth now is going to keep it. He's going to run for the first down as he's out of bounds into the Mule Riders sideline, the 40-yard line. That's what we thought we might see more of from Seth Streeter today.
He just simply outran defensive lineman J.D. Abrams on that play around right in.
They say he stepped out a yard shy of the 40, so it's first down and 10 to the 41-yard line with 13:10 to play. And back to throw as Streeter throws it out left for Marshall. Michael gets a block. He's to the 35. Marshall cuts right to the 30, running backwards and dragging defenders with him to the 29. That is a gain of 12 yards and a first down on the reception by Marshall, his second, both coming to this drive. And now there's a flag down, and that's going to negate the play.
And that was that same play with Harris blocking.
That hold is on Braden Phipps. I said he got a block. Boy, he did get one, but it wasn't clean. Well, so that negates a 12-yard catch and run that would have been a first down near the 30-yard line of Southern Arkansas.
First one was clean by Harris in the slot. Again, Marshall outside, catches the screen and breaks a tackle left side.
First down and 17 at the Mule Rider 47. Back to throw is Streeter. Throws it left for Harris. Dancing near side, out of bounds at the 41-yard line. And they are really doing some jawing and coming very close to hitting ball carriers out of bounds. We're talking about the Mule Riders, and Keelan Harris took exception to that.
Well, you want to get the ball into Keelan Harris's hands that time, but E.J. Moore, the running back, went to by the linebackers middle across. There was nobody on the right side of the field.
Second and 10 at the 40 of the Mule Riders. Back to throw as Streeter circles all the way back to his 48. Has time. Now he's going to dump it to the far side. And it's incomplete. And Alex Nabavi was wide open on the far side at the first down marker.
Yep, he was. He came back to help his quarterback. He's 3.5 yards in front of the defender on the sideline. But Streeter just made his mind up to throw it out of bounds.
Clock stops on the incompleted pass. 12:19 to play. Third quarter, 17-6, Southern Arkansas. OBU's last lead was at 6-3 late in the first quarter. Third and 10. Is this four-down territory? E.J. Moore, the single setback. Streeter gets a block, throws left. Harris makes the grab at the 31-yard line, and that is enough for a first down. And that was a dart from Seth Streeter.
Yeah, dart, I call it a bullet because that was a tough catch for Harrison. It just seemed like it stuck like glue right on those gloves. He pulled that to the right side of his helmet, back into his body. Great play by Harris.
Good throw, good route, 10 yards for Keelan Harris. And Harris now has 35 yards, and that breaks the record for all-time receiving yards at Oklahoma Baptist. Back to throw is Streeter again to Key, next left side, and again he's shoved out of bounds.
That's
very late, and they have not yet thrown a flag on Melvin Smith Jr. as the reception goes for 6 to the 24.
Harris was beyond the white line on the sideline, and then just a unnecessary shove by Smith right in the back.
Harris flanked to the near side, two receivers wide right with Sharp, the tight end, on the near side. Back to throw, Streeter looking for Key, incomplete, and Melvin Smith ran up the back of him. Harris thought maybe he was interfered with, but in good sportsmanship this time, Smith able to help him up off the turf. So it's third down and 4 at the 24-yard line. Clock stops with 11:25 to play here in the third quarter. Without a doubt now, Juan Dog, you're into four-down territory.
Yeah, and Smith's got his hands on his hips trying to keep up with Harris the whole time.
Two receivers left and right. Phipps and Harris are to the far side. Moore the single setback. Here comes the pressure. Streeter runs up the back of Landsteiner and is sacked. Trayvon Letts will get to him at the 30, and now it's back to fourth down and 10.
Wow. Well, they're, like you said, four-down territory, 4th and 10, big play. Harris went off for a breather. He's coming back.
The wind is non-existent. It was almost 20 miles per hour right at kickoff out of the north, and OBU for that first quarter had the advantage to the wind of their back. Fourth down and 10 at the 30 of Southern Arkansas. Huge play. Streeter rolling right. Throws on the far side, and it's through the hands of Harris. Too high, incomplete at the 19 of Southern Arkansas. So on that drive, Keelan Harris, who earlier today broke a tie for most career receptions with Josh Cornell, has erased Cornell out of the top spot in career receiving yards with 40. So congratulations to the great one, Keelan Harris.
Well, Oklahoma Baptist, they chewed a little bit of clock, were very aggressive moving the ball up the field. that is a positive sign. Still down only 17-6 here. Big stop on defense.
Third quarter presented by McIntyre Law and the Bison Network. Southern Arkansas takes over at their own 30-yard line. Obi Jones is the quarterback. They'll motion a man from left to right. It's a toss sweep, as that will go to Micah Small, I believe. Or correction, that's to Kendrick Bender, and he is tripped up at the 33-yard line. So a gain of 3 brings up second down and 7. Less than 10.5 minutes remaining here in this third quarter. And an entertaining football game for the opening kickoff today between two pretty evenly matched teams. Scales gets the handoff and makes a cut and is able to get to the 39, so he picks up 6, third down and a yard coming. Went behind Colton Greer and Marshall Poppenhusen on that left side. Third and a yard. 10 minutes exactly to play. Third quarter, still 17-6. Jones is going to keep it running left, first down and more, outside the numbers to midfield. And he is rolled down at the midfield stripe right in front of the Mule Rider bench.
Just a quarterback sweep left, having 3 blockers out there. Jones doing a good job just picking his way and then bowling his way for the first down.
Obi Jones picks up 11 of that carry, now has 11 carries for 31 yards in the ball game. Tight end left, 2 receivers to their side, single receiver split left. They hand it to Scales, sweeping to the short side of the field. He gets away from Carhue, and then Brent runs him down. Jumps on his back at the 45, a gain of 5 on first down.
Southern Arkansas getting a big push on the left side by Marshall Poppenhusen. Marshall Poppenhusen is 6'3", 315 pounds, and he moves a lot quicker than that size for a man.
There is a flag down right where the end of that Scales run occurred, and Southern Arkansas is retreating backwards.
Block below the waist. 15 offense. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
Block below the waist that time.
Everybody clap your hands.
Against Southern Arkansas will negate a very good gain on first down and put the ball back into the Mule Riders into the field. We'll tell our network affiliates that our next break will be a 1-minute local break. It's a 1-minute local break at the next time out. Line of scrimmage back at the 39-yard line of Southern Arkansas. So it's going to bring up first down and 19. Obi Scales, 2 receivers left and right, wants to throw. Now it's a quarterback draw, 45 up to the 47-yard line, and he's banged down there. So he's able to pick up about 8, and it brings up third down and a long 11 for Southern Arkansas.
That's a big disadvantage of having that 3-man front. If the center can move the nose tackle and then the tackles and then move them to the left, it's just one defender on the right side.
Third down, a long 11. Low snap. Jones handles it, throws it near side. Ball caught. Turns upfield. That's a first down catch from Cole Williams. He just set down in the middle of that defense, Scott, and then turned upfield and got 6 more right where he needed to go at the 40.
Yeah, just sat down there. And a lot of it has to do with Jones having so much time. Very seldom does he have to rush his throws.
Jones now 13 of 15, 189 with that completion of 13 yards and a first down to the Bison 40. Handoff coming right is Scales, and boom, he's hit just shy of the 35 and then rolls close to the 35-yard line as Brandon Spencer came up and laid the lumber.
Brandon Spencer is known for some big hits, especially when he comes fast out of the secondary at those angles.
Second and 5. Southern Arkansas ready to snap it once that ball is ready for play. Jones gets a snap back from Thomas Bowman. He's going to hand it again to Scales. They went to the well one time too many. He runs into Jake Landers among a host of Bison friends. No gain, and it's third down and 5 for the Mule Riders in the OB territory.
Kind of looks like the beginning of the game again. Very aggressive on offense and defense for the Bison coming out of the locker room.
Southern Arkansas has rushed for 39 yards in this ball game. They have thrown for 224 and have 355 yards of total offense to 138 for the Bison. Third down and 5 at the OBU 35-yard line. Handoff to Scales. Cuts up field, didn't get there. They grabbed him by a jersey at the point of attack, and he manages to get 3 to the 32-yard line. And it was Jake Landers that I think may have gotten a hold of that jersey to slow that run down. It's fourth down and 2.
Good defensive call by Elisario. They sent Nick Boone off the left edge. The Mule Riders wanted to get around him to the outside, but Boone had containment, shoved the running game right up the middle into the teeth of the defense.
The two teams are a combined 6 of 20 on third downs, both are 3 of 10. Southern Arkansas 2 of 3 on fourth down, and they're going to go for it. They need to get to the 30. They're 2 yards short. Jones gets the snap, fakes the sweep. Now Obi rolls left, pump fakes, being pressured, and he dumps it off, and it's caught for a first down. That scales out of the backfield of the 24-yard line. And he's tackled, and he just had enough time to find Scales, who gave his quarterback some help because he had 2 defenders breathing right down his neck.
And there's 2 defenders close to Scales, but they didn't come up to him. Scales was a half-yard past the first down marker, and the Bison laid back.
Hand off to Scales, running short left, and he breaks tackles down the numbers inside the 15, and is tackled to the 14. That's another 10-yard run for Jarek Scales, who is their leading ball carrier at over 750 yards on the season.
You know, I interviewed Daniel Eaton at halftime. He talked about momentum. Southern Arkansas's got it now.
Here comes the blitz off the edge. They run away from it to the short side with Scales, and he is able to get to the 10-yard line. That was a good call from upstairs by the Southern Arkansas Brain Trust. They pick up 4, but they were coming hard on the near side edge.
See, the Bison did such a good job holding them that 4th and short, 4th and 3, and it just kind of lets the air out of their balloons when Southern Arkansas converts that.
5:51 to play third quarter. Jones tosses it on a jet sweep to, trying to see who that was. I think it was
Cole Williams.
It was Cole Williams, and Williams is tackled inside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Williams came in motion. He was lined up right as the wide receiver, and then just came across on that jet sweep.
So he gets 9.5 and sets up 1st and goal to go with the football just outside the goal line of the south end. 5.5 minutes to play. Southern Arkansas threatening to take a 2-score lead with their first drive here in the second half. OBU had an impressive drive but turned it over on downs at the Mule Rider 30-yard line. They had gotten as close as the 24 of SAU. Tight end motions, Witten from right to left. Now Jones is going to run that way. Jones is hit, and second effort got him in for the touchdown.
Jake Landers had him by the ankles, but Jones fell across the goal line.
So Obi Jones has a pair of 1-yard touchdown runs, and it is now 23-6.
That's now, unfortunately, a 3-score deficit. Yep, with 5:10 to go.
So we've played basically 10 minutes of this third quarter, and each team has had a long drive. Southern Arkansas's resulted in points, OBU's in a turnover on downs. Austin Wilkerson on for the extra point. He has 2 field goals and is 2 of 2 in point after tries. All this at the south end. Snap coming back. Ball is down. Everything is perfect. The kick is on the way, and Wilkerson is good. Timeout. 5:10 to play. Third quarter. We'll step aside for this local break with Southern Arkansas leading 24-6 in Shawnee. This is OBU Football, a presentation of Sportscast Productions on the Bison Radio Network.
First National Bank and Trust Company prides itself on building relationships with
This is the one, right?
Around the conference we go with Brooksy.
Southeastern bombing Monticello 35-7, 9 minutes left in the third. 10 to play in the third. Southwestern with a 16 lead at Arkansas Tech. Southern Nazarene, how about this? At home, 27-14 over Henderson State. 8 minutes to play in the third. 8 minutes to go in the second. Harding 7, Northwestern nothing.
Wilkerson kicks it away, and this time it will hit at the goal line and go into the end zone for a touchback. So it's 1st and 10 of the 34-yard line. I said the 34, the 25. I was looking at the starting position of OBU's last drive. For our stations, we will tell you we were on schedule now. Our next break will be break 1 of the third quarter. Third quarter brought to you by McIntyre Law.
You know, guys, we've talked about the fact that you had, Ouachita Baptist at the top, but East Central almost pulled the upset. But with East Central, Henderson, and Harding, you've got, 3 teams pretty even. Everybody else kind of except the bottom 2. We'll give you an example a little bit later.
Bazell, the single setback. They'll hand it off to Harris on a jet sweep. Gets out of a tackle in the backfield, turns upfield, and gets across the 30 and is up near the 33-yard line. So a good run on first down for Oklahoma Baptist with 5 minutes exactly to play in the third quarter.
Boy, when Harris wants to turn it on, he turns it on because there was nothing on that play. He got 3 yards going straight to the boundary.
Yeah, they spotted it at the 28-yard line, so he went out of bounds well before the play ended, it looked like. They swing a pass in the left flat for Bazell, and he gets 3 to the 30-yard line, so it's second or third down and 5. Bison, again, 3 of 10 today on third down conversions.
That was Streeter's third option on that play. He quickly read off the other 2, so he had no chance, dumped it off in the flat for Bazell. They got something out of it.
Streeter, a former 8-man quarterback at Region Prep in Tulsa. Third down and 5. Everybody just kind of standing around. Streeter to the near side for Marshall, and he makes the catch. He's hit. The ball comes free, and it's intercepted. It is intercepted by Southern Arkansas. Returned to the 30 and dump truck down at the 26-yard line. Off the deflection, and it was intercepted by Prince Udonzi.
It was intended for Michael Marshall, who actually caught the football in between 2 defenders.
He just got rattled.
Got hit so hard that ball knocks out. At first, he looked like a perfect pass by Streeter, but at the same time, you lead your receiver into that defender.
Man, a big-time hit at the end of that catch by Michael Marshall. And when you've lost 5 straight and you've won in 7, those are the breaks that go against you. Carries right to another defensive player. First and 10 in OBU territory at the 26-yard line for the Mule Riders with 4:08 to play here in the third quarter, and this would likely slam the coffin lid shut. Jet sweep, they'll toss it running left. On the pitch, it's DeKendrick Bender, and he's able to get inside the 20-yard line. Going to bring up second down for SAU.
You said it right. 5-game losing string. You hope that things bounce your way. They normally don't in days like this. You would have had first down at the 44, keeping possession. Now the other team had first down with a turnover at your own 26.
Bender, with his first carry of the year, picks up 6 to the 18. Bender motions again. They fake the toss this time. Back to throw is Jones. And now he's going to run it. He has all sorts of room. He's into the end zone for the touchdown. He was hit inside the 5 and then just kind of dove and stumbled the remaining 4 yards to get in for the score.
He didn't stumble at all, did he, on the first 22 of that? Because, there was not a green jersey any place near him once he took off running.
Brooksy, I don't know if you would have reached the end zone, my friend, but you would have set up first and goal to go.
It would have been first down inside the 1 foot line.
Scott's shaking his head. You disagree?
Yeah, he'd been sacked.
Here's Wilkerson's extra point, and it is good. Timeout, 3:46 to play in the third quarter. It's now Southern Arkansas with 28 unanswered points dating back to the first quarter, leading 31-6. This is Bison Football with the OBU Radio Network. .120 yards of total offense and 2 scoring drives for the Mule Runners that have put this one likely out of reach despite a little time remaining here in the third quarter. 31-6. Austin Wilkerson to kick it away, and this will go airborne into the end zone again. And it'll bring up a touchback at the 25-yard line. Obviously, there's time left, guys, to win this football game, but based on the numbers that OBU has put together the last 6 weeks, 5 weeks during this losing streak, a deficit of 25 points seems almost insurmountable.
Well, they've got to score 35 points. What I say in NCAA Division II football, it's such a high-scoring game. There's really not very many shutouts. You've got to score 35 points usually to win, and that's what they've got to get, and that's a high mountain to climb.
Southern Arkansas is going to pin their ears back and come after Streeter. Empty backfield. Seth feels the pressure. He's rolling to his left. Now he's going to run 30, slides down, and a late hit. And here comes the flags at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, because Streeter gave himself up, and the tackler from the inside came and clipped him across the face.
That was Zazo, the backup Mike linebacker, and he hit him high, too.
That flag is going to – this penalty will be marked off from the 34. Ball should be out to a yard short of midfield after they – yeah.
So first down, and it will be at the 49-yard line after the penalty is marked off against Southern Arkansas. That is their 5th penalty now for 55 yards this afternoon. Yet it has not mattered. 31-6. They have scored 28 unanswered points after the Bison led 6-3. First and 10 to the 49-yard line. Streeter throws it out right for Harris. Behind the line, turns up field, skirts free of initial contact, but was flushed out of bounds at the 44, so a gain of 5 on first down.
Just the momentum of the speed of Keelan Harris going forward and catching that ball way out front gives you 7 yards.
Record-breaking day for the junior from Richardson, Texas, who's likely headed for the NFL next season. Streeter will run, and he weaves his way to a first down. It looked like he got to the 41, and that's where they're going to spot it.
They're moving the sticks. I think if Streeter waited a little bit, it really wasn't a quarterback draw, it's just a designed straight run. If he let some of that pass rush come by, he would have had more room to move past the sticks.
2:48 to play. Clock rolling here in the third quarter. Todd Miller, Scott Wattis, John Brooks, and John Zunlow. OBU back into the Mule Runners into the field of the 41-yard line with trips to the far side and 2 to the near side. Empty backfield, and there goes Streeter. He's going to take off again. 35 to the 30, and he slides down, and there's another hit. At the 26-yard line, and now that's going to bring up a skirmish. Some of the offensive linemen getting involved. And you know what? Once can be an accident. You do it twice, that's a trend, folks.
Yeah. And Jake Sitzler said, I've had all of this I'm going to take from you. And I mean, he laid 2 big, long paws in the chest of whoever had jumped up off of the pile. You're right. That's without a question. That never should have happened right there.
I think that was targeting, too. Needs to be ejected.
Yeah. It was a high hit, and I think that's what they're talking about. Here's our referee, Dan Wilson. That is Braden Wade, the freshman free safety from Carthage, Texas, who has been disqualified for targeting against Seth Streeter, who had clearly given himself up.
Well, and that was a blow. Streeter was in the slide and just right there in the face mask, top crown of the helmet, snap him right back, whiplash. I like the way Streeter just gets right up quickly.
Seth is a tough kid. With the run and the 15-yard penalty, it's a 28-yard play, and OBU is back into the red zone. With 2:36 to play, down 31-6. Buddy Bazell is out there. This is where he specializes in the red zone. Bazell has a team-high 5 touchdowns, many around the goal line. The give to Bazell, bounces out left. Buddy to the 10, to the 5. Bazell into the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow, what a great push up the middle by the center.
So Bazell with rushing touchdown number 6 and a 13-yard run. And what an answer by Oklahoma Baptist as they end a 28-0 run by Southern Arkansas and have a chance to pull to within 31-13 with Garcia's extra point.
At right guard, Devin Mack did a good job of pushing. There's a big push up the middle, allowing Bizzell to go up the middle, then kick it to the outside.
Garcia out of the hole to Phipps with Peyton Russell to snap it. Russell's snap is back of the mark. Ball is down, kick is on the way, and the extra point is good by Gigi. Timeout will step aside. 2:19 to play in the third quarter. 31-13 Mule Riders. This is Bison Football presented by McIntyre Law on the OBU Radio Network.
Sorry about that, Scotty.
To say that word of mouth has filled our restaurants for over 15 years. The appeal to Boomerang covers all ages. Come and visit our Shawnee locations and you will see why we have been voted best burger, best breakfast, and best waitress.
Here at S.
His shortest of the day from the 15 out to the 20, down the middle of the field to the 30 to the 35-yard line. That was Ian Beek, and that's where Southern Arkansas will start this drive with 2:14 to play in the third quarter. Let's let you identify yourselves if you're on the stations and the network. This is OBU Football on the Bison Radio Network. Judd Barton is out for the first time here in the second half. He led Southern Arkansas on a touchdown drive, his only series in the first half. A return by Ian Beek of 20 yards or 27 yards to the 37 is where they start. Now Barton is going to keep it on a fake handoff. He runs into Nick Boone as he manages 3 up to the 40-yard line. Boone ripping to that football, trying to get it out of the grasp of Judd Barton. That takes us under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 31-13 our score. Judd Barton is a transfer, a redshirt sophomore. OBU showing some pressure off the edge again with Nick Boone. Now the Mule Riders are going to check out of the play, and they still have plenty of time. 17 seconds in which to snap it. The setback, Blake May moves to the left of Barton. They hand it to May, coming right, and look at that. Yards after contact. They had him stacked up at the 41, and he is down to the 45-yard line before he was finally stopped by Xavier Lott.
That's just good, hard running by Blake May, running into the a multiple tackling and then just press forward.
Third down and 2 at the 45-yard line. That came about as easy for you as it did for me identification-wise a moment ago.
I know. Excuse me.
Minute to play here in the third quarter. 2 times to the near side. It's a quarterback keeper by Barton, and he will not get there. He ran right into Xavier Lott, who had face mask to face mask and just spun him down. It's a yard short of the 46, and let's see now what the first-year head coach Brad Smiley does for the Mule Riders.
Yeah, Lott jumping up high on Barton and just squeezing him around the shoulder pads, then whipping him down.
No reason in the world for them to even think about going for this. They got an 18-point lead. Don't go for it and not get it, and suddenly you got the home team turned around with some hope.
Andrew Schreiner, 2 punts for an average of 21.5 in the first half, on to punt back at the 31. Good snap back, and OBU almost got to him. Now they hit him, but no flag is down. Harris is going to try to return this, and he goes nowhere. He's lassoed down at the 16-yard line, so no return of the best Schreiner punt of the afternoon.
Good tackle by Cole Williams, getting the Speedy Harris around the thighs and then whipping him down to the turf.
38 yards for Andrew Schreiner on the punt. With 12 seconds to play in the third quarter, OBU will have it just beyond their own 15-yard line. So let's see if they can continue the momentum, guys, for that last impressive 5-play, 75-yard series.
Some of them by Streeter just turning on the jets, getting those big gains, and then those late hits, that helps your momentum too, a little fighting.
Streeter will throw it out left for Harris, and he bounces it to Key, and that was very close to being a lateral. They say it was a forward pass, so it's second down and 10 to the 15-yard line.
That's a couple of those passes that Streeter had. I don't know if he just hesitating and said maybe I don't need to throw it there, but that ball is at least 4 yards short.
On that misfire, Seth Streeter is 16 of 31 passing for 52% for 52% today. Second and 10. The redshirt sophomore drops inside the 10. He's rolling right. Now Streeter is going to take off, and he gets a large chunk of the 10 as he's out of bounds across the 20, somewhere around the 23-yard line. And that's the dynamic that a healthy quarterback, Seth Streeter, brings to the offense. Now they're spotting the football all the way back at the 20-yard line, and that's the end of the third quarter. 15 minutes to go at Crane Family Stadium at the Hurt Athletic Complex in Shawnee. The score, Southern Arkansas 31, Oklahoma Baptist 13, our third quarter. Brought to you by McIntyre Law on the Bison Radio Network. Set into the 19, so Wade picks up 4. It's third down and 6. First play from scrimmage in the fourth quarter. Streeter looking right, looking left, back it up inside the 10, throws, slant, caught, first down. That's Marshall down the middle of the field of the 45, cuts left to midfield. Michael Marshall trying to have the ball taken away from him from behind is finally tackled at the 41 of Southern Arkansas. There is a flag, however, back downfield. I think somebody was holding for OBU.
That's going to be the call, unfortunately.
Wow, what a pass by Streeter. He knew that he wouldn't get it there with his speedy legs at 3rd and 7. He waited till the last second. Marshall on the slant across the middle. Good pass between two defenders. On full speed, Marshall just grabs it, pulls it to his body, right, left, all the way past the 50.
So instead of having it to the Mule Rider 41-yard line,
that's a 44-yard play taken away.
OBU's going to have it at the 11-yard line, and the officials' mic not working, so we couldn't see who was guilty of that infraction. So it's going to bring up third down and 19 with the line of scrimmage just beyond the Bison's 10-yard line. Nate Anderson is out there. That was a terrific catch and run after the catch by Michael Marshall. You can see why they're so high on this youngster. Streeter to throw from the goal line. He's going to step up. Seth throws over the middle. It's too high, incomplete. He was looking for Keelan Harris. So that penalty, just the 4th of the afternoon against Oklahoma Baptist, negates a 44-yard play in terms of field position. Now it's punt time for Braden Phipps.
And Streeter had Keelan Harris on the crossing pattern past the first down marker. But what Streeter did, he went full speed sprinting. I think he was going to run, then he saw Harris for the first down, and when you're going full speed, it's hard to complete that pass.
Ian Beek will set up shop at the 50 to await this punt from Phipps. Braden has averaged almost 41 of his prior kicks today. He's 5 yards deep in the end zone. No pressure, and he gets an end-over-end kickoff, and it's going to be returned for the 47-yard line up to the 45, and he's finally knocked down on special teams by Braden Johnson. And that was a dangerous kick because he didn't get any roll, and it was more of a line drive kick, which certainly gives the opposition a chance to return. 35 yards on the punt for Braden Phipps. Timeout, 14:27 to play in the ball game. Southern Arkansas 31, OBU 13. This is Bison Football on the OBU Radio Network.
Southern Arkansas rolling up 425 yards of total offense, 129 in the third. Oklahoma Baptist at 193 at the, had a 92 at the intermission. They got 101 yards in that third quarter.
All right, here we go. First field runner possession of the second half from the OBU 43-yard line. Obi Jones out there, and he will hand it off. Running right this time is Jonathan Lewis, a senior back from Houston, Texas. And Lewis gets close to the 35-yard line, which will give him almost 8 on his first carry of the afternoon.
Thrown out of bounds by Caleb Peters.
Caleb Peters at halftime was the second leading tackler for the Bison. 8 for Jonathan on first down. Lewis remains out there. The tight end Witten motions from left to right. Hand off to Lewis again, running short right. He has a first down. This is a punishing back that they brought in. The fourth running back used today by Brad Smiley. The gain goes for 3 on 2nd and 2, so it's a first down at the 32.
You got Blake May for Southern Arkansas. Their leading rusher with 66. Scales with 56. O.B. Jones with 36. Leads to what you were talking about.
13 and a half minutes to play in the ball game. 1st and 10, Southern Ark at the OBU 32. Jones, the left-handed quarterback, back to throw. Under pressure. Now he's going to have to run, and he's down. Sacked by Xavier Lott at the 39-yard line of the Bison. And OBU getting home today with just 3 guys against that Southern Arkansas front that allowed 11 sacks coming in and averaged over 300 yards tackle to tackle.
I like that play by Lott because Jones was stepping up and kind of tiptoeing away, and then it looked like Lott was sneaking up behind him, and Jones didn't know Lott was behind him for the sack.
I didn't know how you could like it a lot. Couldn't like it a lot.
I get that.
2nd down and 16 after the sack, back at the 38-yard line. There's always
somebody,
a smart one in the booth, isn't there?
Always.
Jones with Lewis in the backfield. On a delay, they hand it to Lewis. Cuts left. No, that's Scales. Out of an ankle tackle. No, he bounces left. Back right, 25. First down, 20. And they finally get him to the turf at the 19-yard line.
4 missed tackles.
Yep, and that was all Jarek Scales making those defenders miss.
Yeah, he made them miss. That's the best run I've seen all season in this league. That was about 4 or 5 jukes.
20 yards to the 18. Handoff straight ahead to Scales. Wrestled down by Brandon Spencer at the 12, so give him 6 more.
So the big run was off tackle left. Scales runs near by the defensive end, has to juke him, kicks it back out, kicks in from the linebacker, kicks back out from a defensive back, and just keeps on going.
12:05 to play in the ball game. It's 31-13. Southern Arkansas in the red zone at the 12. Tight end is lined up right. Scales is in the backfield. Jones with a 1-by-2 set. To the near side is the Kendrick Bender. Bender this year has 3 touchdowns. That is the tied for the most in the receiving corps for the Mule Runners. Still 7 seconds to snap it. Now they're going to motion the tight end Witten from right to left. It's a keeper by Jones to the 10, needing blocks, and he'll tiptoe out of bounds, a first down as that ball is inside the 10-yard line.
Colton Greer, 6'7", 300 pounds on the left side of the line, just pushing and pushing his man all the way toward the sideline, allowing Jones to get some air.
Last 3 weeks we've seen up to date the biggest offensive lines in the conference, East Central, Southeastern, the largest in the league, and they just manhandled OBU up front in Durant. And now this Southern Arkansas line that's always big and physical, 301 pounds tackle to tackle, as I told you a moment ago. First and goal to go, Riders at the 8-yard line of the Bison. Nearing 11 minutes to play in the ball game. Jones with Scales in the backfield. Jones, same play, runs left. They stretch it out this time, and he has his legs taken out from underneath him after a gain of 2 down to the 6.
You know, all that beef on the line doing a good job pushing it. The Bison, the outside, the cornerbacks, and the linebackers coming over are doing a good job containing Jones, keeping that to a minimum gain.
Clock stops with just over 11 minutes to play. 31-13 our score. Next week it's an afternoon game at Arkadelphia, 1:30 our network pregame show as Henderson State and Oklahoma Baptist will play. Those two had a terrific game last year. A heartbreaking loss by the Bison to the Reddies on this field. Another Arkansas school OBU has never beaten since they resumed play back in 2012. Second down and 6 with 2 receivers left and right. One receiver to the near side of Seth Johnson. Hand off to Scales, and he runs right into Elijah Tomlin, who twists him backwards. No gain, so it's 3rd and goal to go from the 6.
Nice play by Tomlin, sneaking up, using his whole body and his weight to push the running back back. The right cornerback right now that's making those good plays on Jones on the outside is Lucky Lasani.
10:22 to play in the ball game. 3rd down and goal to go. Here we go again, another 4-point play. A 4-point play keeps you in this ball game. A touchdown really makes it difficult with less now than 10 minutes to play in the ball game. Southern Arkansas has done a good job milking the clock, taking the play clock deep on every possession, and shortening this game. Running back out there is Lewis. Back to throw is Jones, and he throws it to a wide-open Jonathan Lewis for the touchdown.
Everybody lost him. You couldn't find his name for a minute. Nobody could find him on the field. I mean, he's all alone out at the 5-yard line. There was nobody within 10 yards of him. It was like, oh, there's nobody out there. It was another busted coverage.
Yeah, Jones looked like he faked the run up. I guess that pulled the linebackers up. The running back, Thomas, just was uncovered in the flat.
Austin Wilkerson for point number 38, and he sends it skyward, and it is good. 9:51 to play from Shawnee. It's 38-13. Mule Runners will step aside for these messages on the Bison Radio Network.
Profit, a church, or an individual, we have exactly what you're looking for. And 100% of the profit from your purchase stays here to fulfill the mission of providing vocational training, employment opportunities, and residential care to individuals with special needs. So remember, how does your purchase make a purpose? By investing in South Central, the official office supply store of OBU Athletics.
9:51 to play in the ball game, 38-13. And some of the fans heading for the exits. I certainly hope they'll come back in 2 weeks for senior night here against Southern Nazarene, because being around this club every week, I can tell you they work just as hard on Sunday this week as they did before the Ouachita game. And I can assure you, about to drop to 1-8, this coaching staff is coaching just the way they did the last 2 years, including last year's bowl championship victory season in an 8-4 campaign.
Yeah, what running up the steps for the Bison, for the program, having that long winning streak against Oklahoma schools, 8-4, winning a bowl game, something just really, really jumped up that ladder from 2017-18.
You would have liked to have seen what this team would have been had it been healthy. And I don't want to sit and bemoan the injuries, although that's a key storyline this season. Every team endures them, but it has just decimated what was already a young team. Here is Wilkerson as he will kick this one off. Chris Minn on the near side, straddling the 10, outside the numbers to the 15, cuts left, 20, 25, 30, and Chris Minn is tackled at the 32-yard line. So Chris Minn with a nice run back, and Seth Streeter now down 38-13 with 9:45 to play will bring the offense back out of the field.
Well, I love that run by Chris Penn. He meant business. He caught it, and he put it on as hard as he could, found the tiniest gap, ran as fast as he could right between a few defenders, and got all the way to the 32.
Nate Anderson is the tailback on this package. Tight end Sam Sharp to the right. Back to throw is Streeter. He's going to throw out near side for Harris, and he's hit and dropped the football. And a good read that time by Melvin Smith Jr., and the league's going to have to deal now with Smith Jr. for at least 2 more years. He's a sophomore.
I think there's defensive holding in the secondary.
I just saw that flag, and that is the case. It's an illegal substitution, actually, against Southern Arkansas, so they had too many players out of the field.
Todd, you had a little help from behind you in the booth. We got time after this play to get an introduction.
First down and 5 at the 37-yard line. And Streeter hands it off to Anderson, makes a cut in the backfield and gets to the 39th. So it's second down and 3. My buddy Hayden Bonine is here with us today. Always enjoy having guests in our booth, and Hayden taking in this one here this afternoon. Usually he's working on the sidelines of an OU or OSU game holding a parabolic mic. But with both in-state teams out of state, he gets the weekend off. Second down and 3 at the 39-yard line for the Bison. Winding towards 9 minutes to play. 38-13 our score. Anderson the single setback. Streeter drops, slings it out right. Harris makes the catch, and that's good enough for a first down. Just beyond the 42 near the 43-yard line, as he was hit immediately and shoved out of bounds by Camden Foster. First and 10 of the 43. Quick snap, hand off to Anderson. Jump cuts in the backfield and picks up to the 47-yard line, so a good gain on first down of 4.
Well, that last play, Keelan Harris did a triple move, fake to the outside, went to the inside, hard on the slant, faked that way, and then came back to the sideline.
Sharp is tied in left, 2 receivers that way. Harris in the slot to the near side. Hand off, short right. That's Anderson with a first down as he angles out of bounds at the 45 and is ushered out of bounds on the OBU sideline.
Good job by Anderson recognizing that seal block, bouncing it out to the right side. I thought he was going to do that on the previous play, but he still got 5 yards up the middle, but that right side along the end is open.
Anderson with 8, his longest run from scrimmage this afternoon. He is out of Rejoice Christian, arguably the best team in Class 2A in Oklahoma football, and there's movement up front. I think it was Andrew Sawyer, the left guard, that may have flinched.
Twice.
Southern Arkansas, Trayvon Letts immediately was pointing towards Sawyer. And here's the call. That's going to bring up first down and 15. The ball back at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, that was sorry. Came up once, then reset, came up a second time.
First and 15, Oklahoma Baptist. Streeter drops all the way to the 41-yard line. Now he feels some pressure. He's running right, running out of time, and tackled for a loss. A diving stop by J.D. Abrams. And they're going to drop him for a loss back into Bison territory at the 48.
Initially, he's looking for Keelan Harris up the right sideline. He had Melvin Smith beat by a step, but Smith grabbed Harris's jersey, held him. If he just threw it, I think he got the pass interference call.
Carolina with the board, 7:27 to play from Shawnee. Second down and long. Throw out right to Sharp. Sharp runs into the defender, breaking contact. Now taking that defender on a free ride. That's Braden Gunn, a backup safety, and finally Gunn gets him to the ground at the 41-yard line in Southern Arkansas territory.
Great job by Sharp on the out pattern. It looked like he was going out of bounds, but he stopped, planted, and pushed forward for 5 extra yards.
Third down and 7 to the 41. Streeter to throw again from midfield. Here comes the pressure. Now he's dancing. He wants to run. He's going to throw instead. It's a high throw. Hit Michael Marshall with the hands as he leaped into the air, and it fell to the ground incomplete. So here's a fourth down opportunity upcoming for Oklahoma Baptist.
Well, Marshall's helping Streeter coming back up the left sideline. Streeter throws it so hard and then back toward the middle of the field. He needed to lead him on the other side.
Last week at Southeastern, Oklahoma Baptist 1 of 2 on fourth down conversions. They're 9 of 21 for 43%. That's 10th in the league. They're 21 fourth down conversion attempts, the third most in the conference. Back to throw Streeter. They need 7. They throw over the middle, and it's incomplete. Not even close that time as he was looking for, I believe, Joe Overstreet, number 19.
Well, isn't that Matt Norman coming in?
No, it is Matt Norman. Thank you.
That was one of those package plays that set up for Matt Norman. He's still learning the offensive playbook. He was in front of Keelan Harris doing the slant across the middle short, and then Harris was doing the post deep. Both of them were open. He just rushed that throw.
6:51 to play. Southern Arkansas will take over on downs, leading by 25 points at their own 41-yard line. Obi Jones' day may be finished. Barton is out there, and there's a miscommunication on the handoff. It's fumbled, picked up. They throw it out right, and it is no gain to the 41-yard line.
I thought that ball hit the ground.
I did too. There was some miscommunication between Barton and the running back out there now. And the ball hit the turf and bounced right back to Barton, who quickly slung it out right. And the catch was made, I believe, by Micah Smallford. Okay, it's 2nd down and 10. Barton quickly up to the line. 6:15 and counting to play in the ball game. 38-13. Bison are going to lose their 6th game in a row. Southern Arkansas will win their 4th in league play. They were picked in the bottom half of the conference. Hand off to Lewis with running room, and he may be off to the races. 30, 20. Lewis inside the numbers to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown. Jonathan Lewis, who wasn't even on the 2-deep chart this week, now has back-to-back touchdowns, one receiving, that one rushing for 59 yards.
Well, that faked out everybody in the stadium, looking all over for that football, and long gone for 59 yards.
Lewis with the longest play for him this season, and it's 44-13 Southern Arkansas.
Jonathan Lewis, 5'8", 190-pound sophomore out of Houston, Klein Collins High School.
Here is Austin Wilkerson for the point after try. And the snap is back, the kick is in the air, and Wilkerson remains perfect. That kid is a machine. Timeout, 6:02 to play, 45-13 Mule Riders. This is Oklahoma Baptist football on the Bison Radio Network. Complex at Oklahoma Baptist, along with John Brooks, Scott Wattis, John Zonlow. I'm Todd Miller. 6:02 to play, 45-13 Mule Riders, a game that OBU led 6-3, and since then it's been all SAU. OBU has just one touchdown since that 6-3 lead. Wilkerson gallops towards the ball and approaches. This is a very short kick, and it's going to be returned from the 17. So the 20 up the middle of the field to the 25 to the 35. And finally tackled near the 37-yard line. I think that was Evan Young, a redshirt sophomore from the Sooner State, on that kickoff return. And the Bison will scrimmage beyond the 35-yard line, officially at the 36.
We still have Seth Streeter out there. This is his initial collegiate start. This is where he needs to build some confidence. Just kind of relax. The game's out of reach. Make some good passes and look forward to next week.
Two receivers left and right. Streeter drops inside the 30, throws out left, and the ball is caught for a short gain. That's Kai McCarty at the 41-yard line, a gain of 5 on first down. That takes us under 5.5 minutes now to play from Shawnee.
And Streeter did set his feet right there with that pass to McCarty.
Kai McCarty with reception number 7 for him. Streeter on second down will take off. First down and more. Running left to midfield. Gets to the corner to the 45. Outside the numbers to the 40. And Seth Streeter angles out of bounds near the 35-yard line of Southern Arkansas.
What a beautifully designed quarterback draw by Oklahoma Baptist. Streeter with the quarterback draw had E.J. Moore, the running back, go up like he was going to catch, but he blocks the linebacker, freeing Streeter to get way outside.
22 yards for Streeter. That's carry. Throws it over the middle, caught, and dropped immediately at the 31. That is Braden Phipps as he went down in the arms that time of Detrell Michael, a backup defensive back. Second down and short with 5 minutes to play here with the ball game upcoming. Line of scrimmage at the 31, so they get 6. Streeter again to throw, throws a slant over the middle. The ball is caught and wrestled down inside the 25-yard line, and that was Michael Marshall on the receiving end of that throw from Streeter.
I think that was Clark, 16.
Yeah, it was. Julian Clark. We haven't called his name much at all this year. The gain goes down to the 22-yard line, so a gain of 9, first and 10, just outside the Southern Arkansas red zone. Streeter to throw from the 30. He'll throw it out left, and that one sails high and out of bounds over the hands of E.J. Moore.
You know, on the previous play, Julian Clark ran a perfect pattern. He took the cornerback out, went deep, and then slanted on the inside.
Moore is the single setback. Julian Clark split short left. 3 receivers to the near side, including the new career receiving record holder, Keelan Harris. Streeter to throw, rolling right, dumps it off. Harris at the 17, circles back to the 15 of the 10, spins. Key still on his feet as he took a hit from 2 defenders, and he's finally dropped to the turf at the 7-yard line.
Wow, Harris in the spin cycle, bouncing off defenders. It looked like he took a lick where he's going down, but he spun around again and kept going toward the goal line.
He is a magician with the football. 17 yards down to the 7-yard line of that catch. E.J. Moore, the single setback. Streeter the throw for it. Sliding left, looking, throwing back left corner for Harris, and it is caught for the touchdown.
Nice.
Keelan Harris on a well-thrown floater that time by Seth Streeter. Keelan Harris now has touchdown reception number 26 of his career. And when he scored here a couple of weeks ago against Arkansas Tech, he has at least 1 touchdown against every Great American Conference foe.
Long developing play. Streeter looked really relaxed on that. Just threw it to that spot. Knew that Harris had the speed to go get it. Nice pass.
First throwing touchdown of the ball game for Oklahoma Baptist. That's 36 consecutive games with a touchdown pass by OBU. Guillermo Garcia on for the extra point. It is Gray to the east, Sun trying to peek through overhead. Snap back from Russell. Hold from Phipps. Extra point of the way and good. Timeout with 3:49 to play. It's Southern Arkansas 45 and Oklahoma Baptist 20. We'll pause for these local messages. Bison Football, a production of Sportscast Productions on the OBU Radio Network. To play in the ball game, it is likely onside kick time for Oklahoma Baptist. Guillermo Garcia is placed into the tee of the far side hash at the 35. Southern Arkansas has the good hands team up. They have 6 players within 15 yards of the football. Garcia approaches, and it is an onside kick, and he almost missed the ball. It's going to be picked up for the 45-yard line, returned to the 30, and then finally gang tackled. He nearly missed the entire football. You want to talk about a squibber. That ball didn't even go 5 yards. Obviously, there's flags down, and we'll get a re-kick more than likely from OBU.
You can return that.
You can return that. That's right. Southern Arkansas will start at the 28-yard line.
Now, Jonathan Lewis heads up. He picks that ball up and takes off. Good thing for a couple green shirts to pull him down there. That's a TD. Now, the penalty is the ball must travel to get 10 yards for the kicking team, but they can decline that.
Yeah, and it was 6 yards short from traveling 10 yards. I mean, he nearly missed the football. So it's first down and 10 of the 28-yard line for Southern Arkansas, leading 45-20.
Maybe if that wind was blowing earlier in the game from the north, that might have made 10 yards.
Oh, we had wind? I about forgot about it now. It is really gray back to the east.
Oh, that's rain. That's dark blue rain there.
3:48 to play here in the ball game. 43-20 the score. Southern Arkansas will bring Judd Barton, the redshirt freshman out of Alexandria, Louisiana, who already has a touchdown pass, his 4th of the year, onto the field. Jonathan Lewis, who went 59 yards on their last snap from scrimmage for a score, will be in the backfield. Lewis has a touchdown reception from Barton and a touchdown run today. So the penalty will be accepted, which means they can tack 5 more yards on to the 23-yard line. Lewis is in the backfield. Judd Barton, the quarterback, gets the handoff to Jonathan Lewis. He's out of 2 tackles and struggles to the 20-yard line for a gain of 3, where he's finally met by Christian Clayterbaugh, a freshman safety out of Flower Mound, Texas.
Caden Holling on that tackle as well.
Second down and 7. Southern Arkansas right now more concerned with working the clock. We're under 3.5 minutes to play. Barton awaiting the snap back from the center. Has 3 receivers to the far side of the line of scrimmage. Now Lewis is going to flip from the left to right hip of Judd Barton. Ball in the left hash. Hand off to Lewis on a stretch play. Nowhere to go. He ran into Elijah Tomlin again at the 20. No gain, so it's 3rd down and 7 with exactly 3 minutes to play. Brooksy's made his way to the field. We'll hear from Chris Jensen after he takes care of his post-game obligations with the team. 3rd down and 7 at the 20. 2:41 to play, and the clock is rolling here in the 4th quarter. Jonathan Lewis with Judd Barton out of the gun. 2 receivers left and right. Kendall Williams, who has a big catch on a scoring drive earlier in the half for Southern Arkansas, is one of the 2 receivers on the near side. Now Lewis flips to the left to right side. Barton is going to take off and run for the first down and more. He's to the 10, stumbles inside the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. That was just like Obi Jones' touchdown run earlier in the second half. The seas just parted.
And that was just too easy. The Bison were putting up a good defensive stand against these second-teamers. Half of the linemen and some of those second-teamers, and give that to make this score look more lopsided.
You know, that's been the problem, Scott, consistency with his team. I mean, you'll play good defensive plays for 2 of the 3, and then you give up the big play, and all of a sudden you're in a hole again. Here's Wilkerson, who's having a huge day on point after try. Snap was high. They get it down. Austin's kick is on the way, and it's inside the right upright and converted. 2:23 to play. Southern Arkansas 52, Oklahoma Baptist 20. We will take our final 4th quarter break. It's a local break on the Bison Radio Network. With Judd Barton's touchdown run of 20 yards, Southern Arkansas, the 4th best rushing team in the conference, now has gained 305 yards on the ground. They're over 550 yards of total offense as Wilkerson approaches and will send this one away. It's going to be returned again, and it's Chris Min. He'll settle under it at the 13 to the 20. Gets out of an ankle tackle, 25. Flag is down. Min still going up to the 40, and finally, with some help from 3 Mule Riders, is twisted out of bounds, but more than likely that run is going to come back.
But nonetheless, another nice return by Min. He catches it, uses his blockers, then a diving tackler he leaps over.
Hold it against Oklahoma Baptist on the return. The accepted penalty will be the 7th such for the Bison. And all of a sudden, they have just had problems with flags. That is their 33rd penalty in the last 3 games. There's been years they barely had more than 33 for the entire season.
Well, with these lopsided losses, there's a lot of secondary and third team players in there, so I think that adds to that.
1st and 10 to the 15. Streeter, an empty backfield, throws it out right and one hops it. Incomplete to Kyle Lewis out of Elmore City on the near side. Bison today have been penalized 7 times for 49 yards. They have been penalized nearly 9 per game over the last 3, coming in at nearly 89 yards in penalty yardage. 2nd down and 10. Streeter throws over the middle. He's got Evan Young at the 20, and Young is wrestled down immediately at the 20-yard line. That's a gain of 6, going to bring up 2nd down and 4, or 3rd down and 4.
Up 52-20. Southern Arkansas is going to give that little set down pattern with 1:52 left all day.
1:45 to play. 3rd down and 4 at the 21-yard line. Streeter drops again. Has time. Looking, throwing left. Ball is caught against soft coverage at the 32-yard line. And finally drug out of bounds. On the catch was Nick Harris, I believe, a sophomore from Dallas.
Yeah. Nick Harris, it took for a long time. A lot of time to throw for Streeter. He triple pumped. And then when Harris got to that left boundary, he just flung it over the defense, wide open, 1st down.
Harris with his first catch of the year, gains 12. Back to throw Streeter again, throws it out left, and looking again for Harris. This time it hit him in the most dangerous spot, the hands, and it drops incomplete.
As Harris, he hadn't seen a lot of playing time. Nice big catch for the 1st down. He wanted some more yardage, just tried to turn upfield before he had it.
Clock stops on the incompleted pass, $1:27 to play. Southern Arkansas 52, Oklahoma Baptist 20. They'll hand it off and running left. This time, I believe, is Chris Min across the 40 up to the 42-yard line, and a huge hit.
I tell you, man, he gets that ball, and he's running full speed as fast as he can off that lead option left. Turn the corner, gets about 8 yards.
He does to the 41, so it's 3rd down and 2, exactly a minute to play from OBU and Bison Hill. Streeter gets the snap, flag is down. Perhaps a free play. He throws left and overthrows its intended target again, Nick Harris, and let's see what this flag is about.
I like that. Streeter recognizes the free play, the offsides on the Mule Riders.
Yep, that'll carry a 1st down for OBU. Bison coming to this ball game, we're 2nd in the Great American Conference in terms of 1st downs gained via the penalty. That's their 1st today, and they're 2nd today in the 24th of the season.
So Streeter recognizes that he's got the free play, and he does pick a deep pattern, but Harris just didn't have the speed to get by the secondary.
1st and 10 to the 47-yard line. Streeter will throw it out for Min, who was wide open, and he overthrows him. And Streeter took a shot at the end of that play from Damon LeGrand, and the youngster Streeter is really slow to get up, and he's a little gimpy as well.
Boy, he was holding his helmet, then limping, now holding his left leg. He's backing up, holding his left knee.
2nd down and 10 to the 46-yard line. Clock stops on the incompleted pass with 50 seconds to play. Our post-game show straight ahead here on the Bison Radio Network, brought to you by Noble McIntyre. Streeter, a quick drop, throws left. Ball is caught at the 48-yard line of the Mule Riders and dropped immediately. On the receiving end of that throw was Jaden Henry. They get good yardage on 2nd down, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and short. I was wondering when it was going to appear. There's a rainbow now, and that is quite a shot. Looks like it's going right into Rayleigh Chapel. 3rd down and 4. And now out of the Wildcat, it's going to be B.J. Westmoreland, I believe.
How about it's raining down here?
It's raining, Brooksy says, as you can hear. And that could do it. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. And that's going to be the final play of the ball game. So Oklahoma Baptist will fall today 52-20 to Southern Arkansas as the losing Skid reaches 6 straight games. Stay tuned. The postgame show is straight ahead with comments from Bison head coach Chris Jensen. You've been listening to OBU Football on the Bison Radio Network.
Final score, Southern Arkansas 52, Oklahoma Baptist 20. Football fans, your Bison football team returns to the Disney Stadium at the Herd Complex on Saturday, November 12th. It's a 6 p.m. kickoff to take on the Southern Nazarene University Crimson Storm for senior night.
You can just feel that cold air and that storm coming.
and Shawnee, final score Southern Arkansas 52, Oklahoma Baptist 20. Waiting patiently with Brooksy, the head coach of the Bison, Chris Jensen.
Well, we do have a little bit of rain. You're right, it came here late, but just as you gathered with your team, I always like to eavesdrop. I hope I have permission because I keep doing it. But your first two words, repeated, I think 3 times, were great effort.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I asked them today, that whatever their role is, that they give their best effort. And I feel like we did that. We're still making some mistakes that we can't make. And, on both sides, all 3 phases, we've still got 2 weeks to try to get those corrected. And so we'll just keep working at it.
Obviously, when you started this year, you had no idea that at this point that you'd be looking, at a record of 1-7, yeah. With 2 games to go and 2 very tough games, because Southern Nazarene, as we just heard, they're in overtime against Henderson, and that's your finale here in a couple of weeks. My point about all this is you've got a team that is now operating with a third-team quarterback when the season opened, and there was little thought in your mind that Mr. Streeter here would be on the field. But he's a pretty gutsy little player out of 8-man football.
He is, and he's got such a great attitude, and he's got leadership qualities that, he can energize the guys around him. And, we saw that last week. He brought in a little spark when he came in, and he did some really good things today. He made some mistakes as well, but, he's growing, he's learning, and he's got a great attitude. That's the best thing.
When you're in this kind of a slump, and boy, Chris, you've been through them before, and it's the little plays, it's the little things that in the end turn out to be gigantic, because one little thing makes a difference. The overthrow to Phipps on the first possession, you could be up 7-0, you're up 3-0, but you had at least 4 times defensively today where you had a chance maybe to kind of eke back into the deal. Then you get beat on a couple of busted plays. I know for you it must be difficult on the sidelines seeing how close you can come and then seeing how it can just explode.
It is. We're close. We're getting there to make the play, and we just don't. And so, that's why we go to practice. The good thing is these guys approach practice the right way. They keep working hard in practice. We've got to find a way to steal an inch in practice, and, hopefully it'll show on the game field one of these times.
All right, final question here. It was great effort, guys. Let's try to keep it going. You get on the road, your final road trip, then you're back home for senior night. What's the biggest message you try to get to this club and your coaches in the final 2 games?
We still have an opportunity, and those don't come around very much in the game in football. You don't have 11 games you get to play in 365 days of preparation, and you might as well take advantage of them. You might as well take advantage of the opportunity. You don't want to turn anything down, and the record really doesn't matter for us. We're just focusing on being our best every day and finish this out right.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. All right, guys, we'll come back upstairs to you.
All right, thanks, Brooksy. Thanks, Coach Jensen. Final score today, 52-20, Southern Arkansas. The team numbers look this way. SAU had 28 first downs, Oklahoma Baptist 22. Bison 27 carries, 124 yards on the ground. Southern Arkansas rushed it 60 times for 305 yards. Their quarterbacks Jones and Barton completed 18 of 20 today for 246 yards. OBU quarterback Seth Streeter in his starting debut was 26 of 49 for 198. 76 plays, 322 yards of offense for OBU. Southern Arkansas snapped it 80 times and rolled up 551 yards. Bison did not fumble. They did throw 2 interceptions in the ballgame. Southern Arkansas, who came in -3 in turnover margin, +2 today in the win. Mule Riders were penalized 8 times for 78 yards. Oklahoma Baptist 7 for 49. Time of possession, a decided advantage today for SAU, 35 minutes 17 seconds to 24 minutes and 43 seconds for the Bison. Third down conversions, 5 of 13 Southern Ark, 5 of 15 Oklahoma Baptist. Bison were shut out on 4th down tries, 0 for 2. And on 4th down conversions, Southern Arkansas was 3 of 4. Both teams were perfect inside the red zone. Southern Arkansas was 6 for 6. Oklahoma Baptist was 4 for 4. Back with a look at the individual numbers. We'll also take you around the Great American Conference scoreboard. Some games tight late in the conference. This is OBU football on the Bison Radio Network. Arkansas 52, Oklahoma Baptist 20. Seth Streeter today, the leading carrier for OBU, 13 carries, 68 yards. Buddy Bazell only had 6 carries for 33. Nate Anderson 4 totes for 16. Chris Min late in the game 1 for 7 yards. Streeter today 26 of 49 passing, 198, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown. OBU now has thrown at least for 1 score in 36 consecutive ball games. Keelan Harris, a record-setting day today. He has 10 catches. He now is in sole possession of the career receiving yardage and receptions yardage here at receptions at OBU. 10 for 76. His longest was 38. He had a touchdown reception from Streeter. Braden Phipps targeted 6 times, had 4 catches for 37. Nate Anderson caught both of his targets for 17. Sam Sharp targeted twice, 2 for 17. Phipps today punted 4 times for an average of 39.2. His longest was 45 in the first half. Keelan Harris had 1 punt return, no yards. Chris Min, 2 kickoff returns for 33. Harris 1 for 32. Trajan Lands, 1 of 4 Bison in double digits in tackles today. Lands had 14 assisted, 15 total. Jake Landers had 12 tackles. Caleb Peters 11. Elijah Tomlin had 10. Incidentally, today marks the 7th time that Keelan Harris has had 10 or more receptions in a game, and he is winding down his 3rd year here at Oklahoma Baptist. Jarek Scales was the leading rusher today for Southern Arkansas, 18 carries, 83 yards. Jonathan Lewis, 5 for 74 and a touchdown. Blake May toted it 11 times for 66 yards with a long of 14. Obi Jones, 17 carries and 35 yards. He also had 3 rushing touchdowns. Jones was almost perfect today passing, 16 of 18 for 224 and a touchdown. His backup, Judd Barton, today was 2 of 2 for 22 yards and a touchdown. Devin McDonald had 3 targets for 51 yards and a touchdown. DeKendrick Bitter, 3 receptions for 23. Caden Roach, 2 for 46. Jarek Scales out of the backfield, 2 catches for 31. Andrew Schreiner today punted 2 times for an average of 32.5. He averaged more than that, in fact, over 35 in the second half. Obi Jones, 1 punt for 16 yards. Ian Beek, 1 return to the punt team for 7 yards. And Ian Beek had 1 return for 21. Jonathan Lewis, 1 for 11. Gavin Rowe was Southern Arkansas's leading tackler today with 6. That is a statistical recap of this one. Oklahoma Baptist falls to 1-8 with their 6th consecutive loss. Southern Arkansas is 4-5 with a 52-20 winner. We'll bring Hayden in, and Bud, there's some tight games late in the conference. What do you have for us?
Harding in the 3rd quarter is up 21-0 on Northwestern. Now to the close ones. In overtime, Southern Nazarene falls. They went for 2, down 1, didn't get it. Henderson on top, 42-41 in Bethany. Southeastern defeated Monticello 48-20, and Arkansas Tech had a game-winning field goal as time expired to defeat the Bulldogs in Weatherford.